She belongs to the street.
right. Welcome to another late night or another edition here to the Chaos Rain Show. As you know, I go by the name Chaos Rain here. Welcome to all that's here or that will catch the replay of this particular broadcast. To follow me, you must go to one of my few following links. To follow me on Twitter, follow me at Chaos Rain 7 on Twitter. Also, to follow me and add me as a friend on social media, Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. And the other place to add me and follow me, you could also join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain channel. And what else am I missing? Hold on, guys. I'm just checking some things. There we go. Oh yes. Also, I'm also on Apple, Spotify, etc. I haven't put much content with it. I will start throwing some content back on the podcast side of things on these other outlets. I do have a Rumble. No videos yet on Rumble, but they'll be sent very shortly. What else I'm missing? And when y'all know the deal, how to subscribe to the channel, you hit the red button and the top notification bell for uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain channel. And do I got any other links to send out or any links that I'm forgetting? Oh, and my lovely Queen of Virtue in the building. As you know, she's dropping a few links to Twitter. I think she dropped the Facebook. Though I got you, Queen. I'll send the Facebook link in a second, so make life a little easier on you. I think that's pretty much it. I'm just checking some last little look up around. No. Let me see. Let me lower this window. Oh yes, I can't forget this. Also, I'm on Clubhouse. So I did promise I'm gonna put the Clubhouse link. I'll find it again and maybe drop it in the chat room. But I'm also on Clubhouse as well. So please follow me on Clubhouse as well. One moment, please. All right, guys. Let me see if I forgot anything else. Before I go into today's subject, as y'all know, a lot of things to discuss. This will probably be an uncomfortable conversation, but nonetheless, we can have this conversation. I might look at one of these articles, just sit back and rocking out. Hold on. Let me check my Facebook briefly, because at times I did not send the link. Let me see. I'm just pulling up something right now, guys. All right, copy. And now I had to make sure the link to Discord is sent out. Actually, I think it's sent out already. Oh well. They got some goofy stuff out here. That's crazy. I might start covering some other weird stuff on the internet. I'm starting to see that circulating. Still thinking on that, guys. I'm still thinking on that. Before we begin, and make sure as y'all guys come in, make sure you hit the like button and share this, because sometimes I'll look periodically. Queen, if you're there, let me know if what's the status of the likes, because I'm not gonna keep back and forth. Hold on, because I'm gonna be moving back and forth. It's gonna be hard to keep up with a lot of things, so be my watch for eye if you can, Queen. All right. Okay. Let us begin. What's this? Sarah Woman? Who sent this weirdness? Oh, damn. That's weird. I swear. All right. Enough of that. Oh, thank you for putting the. All right. So let's do this. And looks like I got some interesting news. Let me see if this is true. LisaRaye. You gotta take a look, guys. I just saw something on Twitter. Let me see what's going on here. Are you serious? Let my junk just freeze? Okay. Okay. All right. Look like some false information. Let me see what's going on here, man. Yeah. I don't know where people getting this information from. I was gonna cover some, but I think it's some false entertainment, false advertisement being out here, man. Yeah, it has to be. It got to be. Let me check, make sure. Yeah. And you are so worried. Do you think you're leading? Stop this. If you okay, Okay, sorry guys. I was looking at some of Twitter. I'm not gonna really talk about it because someone says some false advertisement right now. I don't know if they're doing this for click and views. They're doing this for clickbait. I'm gonna sit back and matter of fact, let me Google it, make sure, because I don't want to cover this because I don't know what the hell I'm seeing here. Okay. Let me check, make sure. Yeah, nothing happened. Make sure. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna cover it. It was false advertisement. Yeah, that's what you gotta be careful with Twitter people because they putting out some stupid information. What's good information, man? Let me move on to the show at hand. I apologize, guys, because when you get these little false leads, it draws you in, but when you look and do the deeper Google search, it's proven to be false. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to find the news article. Let's check the source. All right. I'll probably look at some source. Today's subject is titled Let Your Queen Cheat. Now, I know this might be some little false advertisement. This could be even considered maybe clickbait. But the question should be laid out here. Since there's a certain, how can I say it, double standard being put out here. If women should have the luxury or the right to cheat, and they should cheat, and you should not only eat feces but accept it. Now, as you know, me as a person, I don't think cheating is good for us as men. Now, even in the climate, in the era of the Me Too movement, and many more factors that's been put out here, I don't think it's wise now to really continue, if you got like that, to lie to women. Personally, I think you should be upfront and honest to everything you're doing. And hold on. Hold on, guys. All right, and as y'all know, I got the Clubhouse room LinkedIn. And we're active now on Clubhouse. So let me see if this will work, because sometimes I don't use the Clubhouse often. Like I told you, I'm on Clubhouse as well. Shit. I don't know if that worked. Damn. All right. Yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm multitasking from different devices, so bear with me. All right, screw it, because anybody comes in, they come in. I'm not gonna really worry about it, because usually it's just a notification anyway. Anywho, the premise is, should your queen cheat or not? You know, and like I said, it's not cool for anyone to cheat. It's including us men. I mean, now with Me Too now, but overall, we apply it to the ladies. Let's say the black woman, she's out here and she's throwing and flinging her womb to every nook, cranny, and any man that she sees or she deems, you know, sexually attracted to her. So she has the opportunity to open her legs and let man bring forth his essence into her, where she sucks as a sponge, and she eventually, if not careful, bring forth life. Should she cheat? Should she cheat in peace? Should be a man be comfortable if your queen cheats, or I should say, let your queen cheat? That is solely up to you, fellas. Now, mind you, we have a lot of dudes out here that plays the side niggas, that is willing to, would give them the opportunity to smash your girlfriend, your baby mama, your wife. And there are many men out here doing this. Oh, that's my fault. There are a good portion of men. I can't say many, because who knows? Very much. And really, truly, you as a man, are you supposed to take it and accept it? And even to the point now that if you found out your significant other has turned around and had intercourse behind your back, should you eat dirt and accept it? Should you feel comfortable? Now, as a man, I don't feel pretty much comfortable if, let's say, my significant other is just using her womb as a sucker, a device to absorb and suck, like a succubus, suck in a bus, every man that she interacts with, physically and sexually. I'm not cool with that. But I only could speak for myself. Now, for other men, they might be different. Especially, you know, ladies, you got them one that's very territorial and wants to know every move, every action, everything you do. And also, as you know, you see the thumbnail, it shows who are the pictures that I am talking about, you know. And one case, let's be honest, And let's be fair. There are lots and lots of ladies that are cheating more than ever. Unfortunately. They are cheating to the point that you have to do your own private investigation, or even go as far as be a man that's going to be searching for it, or you're going to have to spend money to find out that you will never know if your woman is cheating or not. You're never going to know. And you won't know. And you should know. And the problem with either you invest time, energy, know or not, your woman, because you're a man, depending on what you're doing in life, what really time you have out of your day to really find out if your own woman that you trust is not going to give away her pussy to other men. And to be honest with you, fellas, I can't be vouching, but let's say I'll vouch for the sisters for this conversation tonight. When I say let your queen cheat, because it's evident now she does it better than us men. Now, as y'all know, I did read a section in regards to the percentage of men and women cheating, especially here in America. Outside America, it's different, but we could say the rules could possibly apply the same way, depending on the area and the territory where we live and reside. That, let's be honest, women do it better, and they do it so better. We're so ignorant that we don't waste time to find out if she really cheated. Now, there are only a few ways now you know if your girlfriend, baby mama, wifey, etc. might be giving up the goods to somebody else. One way you could tell is if she's pregnant. That's one way, and usually that's not guaranteed. Because let's be honest, let's be fair. I'm gonna be fair. Are you dudes gonna really, after you know you've been sleeping with this woman, enjoying everything, giving her all, everything you got, even to the point she's giving you all her holes and etc. and etc. etc. and she's giving you all that juice that you like, and weeks, a month later, she comes to you dead in your face and give you that stare, said, "Baby, I'm pregnant," and then hope that your reaction will be positive or negative to know in the news that you have maybe messed up and knocked this chick up. That is the question you should ask yourself, fellas. You always want to know, say, and I hear this constantly said, and you might, let's be honest, some dudes will say this if they really got them big, cojones. They'll ask ladies, they ask their so-called future baby mama or whoever, is it mine? Are you gonna keep it? Or here's the one stupid question: what are you gonna do? What you gonna do? And trust me, I heard some dumb stuff like that when you hear dudes say, "What you gonna do?" I mean, are you serious? What do you think? What I'm going to do? Yeah, this paying thing on the Clubhouse is not that good. I just pinged somebody, and then that junk doesn't even go out. I'm not sure what else going on. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just looking at this. This Clubhouse thing is whack. But anyway, what are you going to do? These are the scenarios that men are placed in every day when known that it could potentially be their kid or it could be not theirs. That's one way you could tell if your girlfriend, wifey, baby mama or future baby mama, etc. You could tell that she might have been messing around behind your back. I think the other way is, always want to know your movabouts and your whereabouts, which to me is something new, but really is to really add more context to a bigger question that why you want to know where the hell I'm going, where I'm doing all the time. That is another clear sign that obviously she's always want to know your move and your whereabouts. It's not she don't trust you, but really, truly, really, she's screwing behind your back. And she want to know the time and place and position where you are so she could sit there plan out for her side dude to really go around and handle her business. Where she's going to be playing around in your own bed or her own bed, and she's going to be getting her back blown out by another dude. Or she can eat out. One way or the other. It's the same thing. And truly, you might not be aware of it, but that's another way of a given telltale sign that she is screwing behind your back. And there probably is more. And there is more. Oh yes. Oh yes, more. If I could think of some more. But there's more. Truly, these are a few ways for now that is clear evidence that she could be screwing behind your back. Not only to mention that when we look at the percentage now, they said that the black man cheats more than every race of man. And obviously there's good reason for that. Obviously, the black man here in the West and outside West, he has been trained and indoctrinated to be a bed bug. Or a bed bug. Now, can we say, and always in our existence as black people, have we really concerned about messing around with different multiple women? I doubt it. But since we're no longer in promise and in actual power positions as a collective, obviously you're going to be indoctrinated and trained to operate as a lower form of oneself. And you're going to seek masculinity through your phallus. And through your phallus, you're going to inject your essence in regards that you're conquering and dominating a female in the loins of the bedroom. As you give it every push and pump, every hit, you are exuding your masculinity. And that is by programming. That's why you don't hear nothing else from us, or a few men, black men especially, of anything besides if we are doing it and laying out in the bedroom, what else that we could show for. Now, mind you, usually your parents prepare you for everything so that way you get through and function properly in this life. But we all know that that's different from black boys that become black men. That's not the case. So, in the result of this, you're producing, ladies, the future bedbugs. If you do it right, which most of them do, and there are some young men that will become men and they will become socially awkward, and they won't even get the opportunity or are afraid to really, pursue pussy. Oh yes. Oh yes. They won't do it. So what's the other end result? They're gonna always and it's funny, talking about this and thinking deeply on this is it's very very much uncomfortable conversation. You're gonna always if you're not a young man that's a man that's still trying to get access and think that you're a man because you're getting into the coochie, you're sadly mistaken. But I get it why you move and operate the way you do, because there's no other view or way that you see yourself as a man or becoming a man in the society besides what you could do in the bedroom. It's the same indoctrination program that you're ingrained epigenetically for a few hundred years now. So it is what it is. So before I move on, let me see what's going on. As you come and make sure you keep hitting the like button. The like button, people. This is the late night after hour edition of Chaos Rain Show. Now let's look at this one article, and I'm trying to find a good article, but they all speak the same. One of the few things that really stirred or brought my attention to really bring forth this type of conversation or this particular stream is the one with the one they call Gabrielle Union. Let me find one of these articles. And I'm gonna flip back, see which one's the right article. This one's the source. Let me get rid of that. And this came out now almost a week ago, if I'm right. Gabrielle Union reveals infidelity in first marriage. I felt entitled to cheat. Now, as y'all know, y'all heard about this. Y'all might come across this already. But it speaks more deeper to a more bigger issue, as you know, in regards to cheating. And should women be cheating? Or just in general, let your queen cheat, for lack of better words. Now, as we look down this article, and remember, there's many more articles that talk about this, but I think it all ties into the bigger issue to the title of the stream about, you know, you should let her cheat or should she cheat, one way or the other. She is out here, you know, giving up the goods, fellas. Let's go into this article. Dwyane Wade's wife, actress Gabrielle Union, is open about her infidelities in her previous marriage. During a recent episode of Armchair Experts, Gabrielle Union opens up to host Dax Shepard about her first marriage. Union, she admits she wasn't getting Wife of the Year award, wherever that means. And while Shepard shares his own guilt about his past infidelities, Union admits she wished she had more guilt for her infidelities, but instead, though, of it as just such a stupid relationship that should have never gotten out of the dating phase, so she say. In our first marriage, neither one of us felt like the marriage should get in the way of our dating. Union explains of her relationship with NFL running back Chris Howard from 2001 to 2006. At the time, the actress described her actions as trying to keep up with her husband's behavior while she's battling her own sense of entitlement. Now, mind you, it looked like she was married at the age of 29. Usually that's one of the, you know, nice or around benchmark age for most couples, especially if you're a Gen Xer. If you can get married around your 18, at 18 years old, the next best thing, you could wait around mid-20s at best. Now, you know, you hear a lot of dudes say you should get married early and all stuff, and there's good reason for that. Can't go into that, but let's be honest. As long as you're still in your 20s and you got married just as you're still around your 20s, we can't complain. Why not? You know, if you date it and you're dating with a purpose, and a dude decides to put a ring on it and you agree, why not? Go for it. It won't hurt. I mean, I have no problem with or advocating marriage personally. I think a lot of men today, because it's not a good deal or whatever case may be, that overall they don't see see that not only significance, but they want their money be all gone, or a woman taking half their stuff. Now, I'm not sure what is half your stuff nowadays. With if the average medium income for us as people is not even close to over six figures, so you make it seem like every man that say is maybe doing well, making six figures. I mean, that's another story, but still, nonetheless, hold on. Oh damn, I have a clubhouse thing too. Interesting. Let me post on this Twitter. I think Twitter I could post a lot of things on Twitter. Let me hit that. Okay. I look like it went through on Twitter. I don't know if I have issue with sending this bad boy through my phone. I don't know why this is issue, man. All right. That's not gonna work. All right. I'm gonna stop playing with it because I get distracted. But let's move on, guys. And please make sure, guys, to like the stream, share this stream. I mean, it will help somebody. God willing, it should. All right. All right, let's move on. In our first marriage, oh no, I read it already. Let's go down. I was like, oh, that's what you're doing. You're going to feel this one, she explained. Union went on to admit that she also felt entitled to cheat because she was paying the bills and working hard to get what she had. Now, I'm not sure what's the income of Mr. Howard. I might Google him right now. All right. I might have to Google him and find out what is his status, how much he made during the time he played in the NFL. Because if you're an NFL player back 22 to 17 years ago, or maybe longer, because I'm not sure when he got drafted, you're making some money at that time. So let me Google this man. What's his name? He's an NFL running back, Chris Howard. So let me look up Chris Howard and his net worth. See what he does. Okay, Chris Howard. Christopher L. Howard is a retired professional, what they call American football running back who played in the National Football League for Jacksonville Jaguars. Howard had been drafted by Denver Broncos in the 5th round on the 1998 NFL draft. Okay. And he was born in 75. Roughly he's going to turn 48 this year. He was married for 5 years to Gabrielle Union. He's 5'10", 223, running back. Date joint, he was drafted in 98 and Broncos 94, Michigan Wolverine. Let me see how long he played in the NFL. Matter of fact, let me see what his net worth is, because that's more important. All right, here we go. Chris, net worth. What's good, Auntie? Let's check. Chris Howard is retired for American professional football. His net worth right now is $3 million. Chris Howard played for NFL from 1998 to 2000. So he only played for 2 years. That's not really a lengthy career for an NFL player. Now, mind you guys, y'all not gonna see in the screen because I'm just Googling it on the side to really look up this guy. And he only played 2 seasons. So that's not, I mean, $3 million is not much money. I mean, it's more than the average American, Black American mostly. But overall, only 2 seasons, it's not a lot. And I'm looking down more. Let me see if this guy got married again. I'm checking out Chris Howard's net worth, where it says $3 million. Well, let me see what's the status now. Actually, his net worth now is $6 million. So all right, some more. Keenan Louisiana Howard player and blah 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 blah. Okay. I'm just scrolling now, guys, to find more about this man. And looks to me that he might have been did good in college, but as you go into the pros, is a totally different story. A very totally different story. So it looks like he has not been working since he got married to Gabrielle Union. Ain't that ironic? So that means they might have dated back in the end of the 90s, and she got married to him as he no longer playing football since 2000. That is very interesting. Don't y'all find that intriguing? That is very, very interesting. And I'm looking down, I'm scrolling through this. All right. All right, so I'm gonna stop looking at his on this. Okay. Let me go back. Let's continue reading. I feel that what comes the spoils of riches. She said, like my dad before me, however, was the most I get to do whatever the hell that I want, is what I thought. As for what she got out of cheating on her husband, Union admits that she was horny for validating and having certain kinds of guys like me and want me. That made me feel like I was worthy of good and valuable and deserving. And she means deserving that she must get her throat banged out by other groups of men in peace. She must get her back blown out in peace. She must engage in all degenerate, perverse sexual acts with other men in peace. That is Gabrielle's thinking and her logic to why she went behind your back and fuck on you. Or actually say screw on you. Eventually, Union and Howard attended therapy, but Gabrielle said the first thing the therapist noticed was that they had nothing in common except other people. Why don't you just go be with other people? As for her current husband, Dwayne Wade, I think initially it wasn't different. Still, she went on to admit that both she and Wade had to commit to themselves and do the inner work to heal themselves so they could be better together. We randomly came back around as more healing people are more open to understanding our complicity in some of the challenges that we created for ourselves, she said. We are way easier to point the finger. You did this to me. You caused that. This person did this. And it's like, okay, we're grown. Union added, I'm super grown at this. I'm 40 plus at the point at it's like I don't want to live like this. None of the feeling or none of this feels good. And it exhausts, and I want a love that feels like freedom. 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 All I want to be free. Freedom. That's all she wants to be, free, baby. She wants to be free to explore her options. She wants to explore many phalluses and engage in many positions. Upside down, front side, back side, sideways, on the dresser, on the sofa. Put her on the bed. Maybe put her near the desk, on top of the table, on top of the kitchen sink, in the tub, on the sink. Even go even as far as in back of the car, where you have to adjust the seat, rock back, and then you do your business. This is what she wants. This is her desire. This is her inner desire she wants in a man. And it's not with her first husband. Screw all that when she tells you that she's paying the bills. F that. You're an adult. You should pay certain bills. All will be good. But if you're paying some bills, that's good enough. It does not give you the validation. That's like saying, as a man, I pay the bills. I come on when I want to please. And matter of fact, I will screw anybody once, and you're not going to say squat. You know you ladies won't like that. You sure won't like it. But sure as hell, you'll tell man, say, listen, I make the money. I'm going to screw around. Screw that. You better not cheat. Because she always needs a sucker to save her no good ass. Like good portion of ladies out there. They will do that. And let's be honest, they're not going to be blunt, honest, and be more one with you fellas to tell you their real ambitions or where they want to dictate anything that goes on with this little thing of a situationship or a relationship, whatever you want to call it, is all garbage. Isn't it? She's gonna screw behind your back, and you're gonna eat squat, and you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna enjoy it. She's gonna come home. She's gonna go out party with the ladies, and she's gonna come home like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, if that. And she's gonna maybe go to bed next to you, maybe. Hold on. All right. Where was I? Okay. So let's keep going. Now we're both free, and we are free to choose ourselves and free to choose each other every day, which is a complete different sentiment. Do you think Union's actions are justified? As you know, we're not going to go into that if it was justified. As you can see, Mr. Gabrielle Union, and mind, she's now 50-some years old since November 26th of last year. So she's like a elder Gen Xer now. She's on a 50-year mark now. Ironically. Let me put the call link just in case anybody wants to time in. And make sure to keep the likes going. Likes are free. All right. Moving forward. That's her side of the story. That's her justification. And personally, it's not really comfortable to hear that a woman like her or any other woman, and let's be honest, majority of people live vicariously through celebrities, because most people, regardless you're American, black, or whatever, you look at these celebrities, the ones that make lots of money, as saviors, as gods, or the representation of pinnacles of manhood and womanhood today, that you will accept and learn everything about them, and you try to incorporate within your own lives. And personally, that's no. That is definitely no. Personally, what she has done, she's trying to justify her fuckery in regards to, she's going around exploring and having different entanglements. Now, only a few women that have gotten away with this, and a lot of women never gave pushback, was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. And I can't remember some other celebrity, but that's the only thing that comes to mind when she had a little entanglement with August Alsina, And we all know the story of Jada. She loves to, have affairs with different men as well. She's damaged goods, like a good portion of them. So, and the reason why Will accept it, because this is the best he's going to get. This is what he's worth. It won't get no better than Jada. And I don't expect to get any better for Jada for Will. So as much times his acting career might have took a big stab on his actions. And mind you, he did came out with a new movie that's dealing with slavery that came out the middle of December of 2022. Now, I doubt that movie did numbers, because let's be honest, you hurt yourself by attacking another black man in opposites of your wife, which most men that have wives that had comedians that said worse stuff, they don't go around just slapping people in the face or attacking them. That's not how that joke works. But because it was a black man doing another black man, we find it is all justified. Imagine that. But But really, truly, your wifey, your baby mama, or whatever, etc., is indeed exploring and take advantage of her options with you, gentlemen. Personally, I think good portion of Western women will love to engage, if they're not engaged, to polyamorous relationships with you as a man. She'll have you, but have another side dude, another dude do this, another dude do this, another do this. And really, it fills up the cup that she has so many men because she has what we call the vagina. And every man, depending on how she moves and how she carries herself, she feels it can be exploited and used for her benefit. And she will use it for a benefit to get what she wants, because there is too much of a growing rise of simps. Dudes that, let's say we don't have no game, and we're so much eager to hopefully get the access or the possibility of sex with one woman. And God knows, Al-Raj Curry's sayings, what he has said throughout the times he was still alive, still holds present to today's society. Dudes do this. They give their money, they give their time, energy, in order for the greatest reward, the access and the possibility of sex. And because of this, a lot of women will never have we'll still have a lot of room, and no room for a lot of men that's willing to give up their phallus to them. Matter of fact, a good portion of men give it for free, if you want to be honest. Somebody wrote this. Her kid will marry Zaya. Wait, who the hell is this? What are these guys writing up here? Let me check up here. I'm checking my Discord, guys. I am seeing some stuff here. Did I put this in the right one? Yeah, I did. That is weird. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I didn't put the same about traveling a bunch. They might care about it. Anyway, yeah. So really, truly, lost my train of thought. Really, truly, she is exploring. She is going to be cheating behind you. I think what Gabrielle has done and what she has said and laid out, there's no really excuse now for a lot of women that when a man makes more than you, and he has, and he will, you can't have that same energy if he explore his options and say, I don't cheat, I exercise option. And I think it was a big issue for the last year and a half when Mr. Samuels brought to our attention, especially Kevin Samuels, about men that means they just don't cheat, they exercise option. So one day, if you're not on your square, he will go and he will have another woman ready and willing to replace you on a given notice. And a lot of y'all ladies had a fit with this, but I never seen no attention, no energy really given on what Gabrielle said on this interview. So when we look at our society, let's say for Black folks, when we talk about there is more women than men, I think women knows the numbers are really much against them, but they don't really concern about the numbers. Now that I think about it, and with this so-called interview that Gabrielle laid and said, I don't think they have a problem with it. Now I think about it, because they sure as hell having multiple men for every situation, even to the point that they're actually effing and sucking these men. So really, truly, when you see the energy or the anger, I look at it as some bull stuff, bull crap. I look at it as bull crap, personally, because you can't give no leeway or excuse to why you do what you do. You have no excuse. I don't know what I'm saying. Grand jury will decide the fate of hero customer who shot and killed. I don't see no excuse, personally. And here's why. Because there should be no justification. If we be honest as people, for cheating. Because sure as hell we don't like it when we do it to each other. So what is really the difference? If someone makes more, they should be right to cheat. Oh damn. All right. So let me see who I could get on the line. And like I said, if y'all want to come up the links into this right now in the chat room. I'm just checking something right now. Actually, let me see if I get my good friend here. I haven't talked to her in a while. I thought I might get her. One second, guys. Let me do this. All right, guys. Yeah, she's not picking up. Let me try another person. Let me see if I get my good friend Mr. Shatterstar Games on here. What's good, Shatter? Kimmy?
Hello?
What's good, Kimmy? Bro? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm on here on the YouTube streets, live. Can I ask you a question? I'm on YouTube live. Can I ask you a question, Shatter? You know that there was a story that was laid out. Gabrielle Union, how she cheated on her first husband, and she felt she was entitled to cheat. Yeah, well, I was saying, I don't know if Minister Jack talked about it. Anyway, I want your take on this. And I said this person that on here said, let your queen cheat. What's your views on it? Is it cool or not for the ladies to sit there cheat upon their boyfriend, baby father, whoever?
It's pretty simple one right there. The answer is no. While in a relationship, you're gonna cheat. That's the anti to what you're trying to do. You don't want to be in a relationship, just do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Or you get a relationship, so that's a monogamous relationship, so that you don't cheat. If you want to cheat, just don't get in a relationship, and then it's fine. Plenty of fine, not cheating.
Yeah.
Because you're not in a relationship, so make shit easy for yourself. Don't make it complex.
But she was married to this man for roughly 5 years. So look like they've been together for like maybe a year or two since the late 90s, because he was drafted in 1998, her first husband, and he only played 2 seasons in NFL. So it tells me he don't have really a successful career. And here's the funny thing about the Shatter. He married her after his career was done in 2000. So she was paying all the bills, and also her justification said, well, the spoils go to the richest, so I'm entitled to because I pay everything. And I don't see no pushback. But when Kevin Samuels said that men exercise option because they make more than their wives and all that stuff, a lot of women were getting their feelings. So I'm saying, what's going on here? It seems like you ladies want polyamorous relationships.
That's a good question. I'm not sure on that, but straight up, that go for men and women. It really don't matter. Only be in a relationship. You stay in a relationship, single, monogamous, whatever you call a relationship. Okay. Don't cheat.
Don't cheat. Yeah.
If you want to be out of the relationship, just leave the person and fuck who you want to fuck. Excuse my language. Yeah. And then, if you want to get down and have 2-3 broads and you think your bitch might be down with that type of shit, where you just run that past her and see if it's cool. And you know, I say no. I wouldn't dare do no polyamorous nothing.
Okay.
Because I got enough problems with one crazy bitch in my house. Straight up. I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of attitudes and all a whole bunch of periods running around, everybody arguing and shit. Hell no. Nigga, y'all can have it. Yeah, that shit look good on paper. But nigga, I know the real reality of this shit, please, nigga. But yeah. You know, that they can have that shit. I ain't more power to them, not hating on no poly people. That's what they do. I'm happy for them. I'm just telling you, man, look here, I'd rather be a single man. If I want to cheat and have multiple broads, just do it like that. Then try to get married, or be in some monogamous relationship.
Okay.
Now I want to go over here and cheat on my chick. You know, it's a waste of energy and time, my man. I wouldn't advise no one. That's including Gabrielle Union, including whoever the hell else implied. That's just mine.
And you know, it's funny because she's married to Dwayne Wade now since I don't know if it was like 2013. I forgot what year. It's been like over a decade now with them. And I'm thinking, my God, this dude cheated on her and she had another baby on him and she stayed. But I'm thinking it makes sense why she'll stay because one, either you're effing around behind his back or you did it in the past with if you were in another relationship. And Loeb find out she did roughly 22 to maybe 17 or 18 years ago with her first husband. So I'm thinking you have no excuse, sweetie. Tell me, I say if you make more sports, that means Dwayne Wade made more than you because he was that nigga, and he was able not only to screw, he had another baby around over you. So it tells me it does justify the means, unfortunately. And let's be honest, if you decide to really lie in any relationship and still do things behind your back, then yes, you should not be staying in anything if they're not being transparent, honest, or where it's going. You know, but
I agree totally on that, man. You know, that's how it should be. Now, is it gonna ever be like that? Totally, no, because motherfuckers can't be honest. But
yeah,
I mean, you know, I try not to think about too much of it in logic terms because these Hollywood relationships is all fake anyway. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it anyway. These motherfuckers ain't monogamous. They ain't nothing but you know, some people on the screen with some money, man. You know, and try to base any relationship off of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, you and your relationship with your chick is way more real than any relationship with half of these celebrities because these people really don't even be loving each other. It's all for show. It's fake as fuck. And I wouldn't put no stock in none of this shit. Don't be personal. But yeah, man, that's just my opinion. But look here, man, I'm gonna hit you back.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon. All right. All right, cool. Respect. Yes, that's Shatterstar Games. Y'all can subscribe to the brother. He's on YouTube as well. Let me see if I can get Sankofa on here because me and him did a modern day relationship stream, and he gave us 12 points on this. Oh yeah, if y'all watching and y'all coming through, please like the stream. There's probably one more call I'm getting. Now, if y'all want to come up, links in. If not, I'm just going to end it. So this is going to be last caller. I'm calling. Now, hold on. All right. I'm live on YouTube. Let you know, Sankofa. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right. Are you familiar with Gabrielle Union? Expressing how she cheated on her first husband, and that she was entitled to cheat because she paid all the bills. This has been floating around the internet for the past almost a week now. This was an article that's put out January the 5th, right? Okay. As he wait, like I said, and y'all can share this if y'all want. It's optional. And let me go for the chat room. Matter of fact, I ain't check the chat room. I see some people, not much people. I see hold on. I saw Queen.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. My question to lay out to you, Sankofa. What I titled is "Let Your Queen Cheat." You think, in your opinion, is it cool, all right, to let your own baby mama, girlfriend, or etc. let her cheat and engage in this polyamorous relationship with you, like most modern women that are cheating at almost the same rate as men? Is it cool?
No, I don't think that's cool at all, and that's not liberating or a positive thing that a woman should do. You know, it's crazy that women are trying so hard to be like men, but then when they actually get the men roles, they complain about it. So it's like they only want to be a man when it benefits them.
And it's funny remember when KS was alive for the past year and a half, when you talk about that men that are of means or high value men, they don't cheat, the exercise option. All the women got in their feelings, got mad, and then all this nonsense. And lo and behold, we're not even a month into the so-called 2023. This came out that she cheated and she felt she was entitled to cheat because she paid all the bills. What's going on here?
Yeah, because I never understood it. Like, why ain't women coming out with uproars like, "Oh, that's the wrong thing to do"? Stuff like that. So.
You know why? Because, brother, they view the relationship with men today, not just other groups of men, but let's say black men. Come on, we can speak for us. They must engage in polyamorous relationships. They gotta have multiple men on their side, while having you do your thing. While she have this man does this, do that. You get me? And if they are found out that they committed infidelity in the relationship, it's cool. You could take it back or not. It's not no big deal. Sherry got already the side Negro, the clear man, to replace you on a given notice. So personally, and I remember when I was reading the section of Obsidian book about the rate of cheating, it's crazy now in the last decade or more, we can say more than 10 years, that women do cheat at almost close to the same. And I think they probably cheat more than men, because let's be honest, men are very stupid and careless when they cheat. Correct? Sankofa? If you're there.
Yeah, I'm
serious. So really truly, when you never gonna know if your so-called significant other is cheating behind your back unless she slip up and let you know, which really she did it intentionally, or you had to do out of your pocket to figure it out or find someone's, telling you that, I'm banging your girlfriend, your wife, your baby mama. You're not gonna invest time to find out if a woman cheat. And even it's worse, Sankofa. I never really understand why women always want to know your whereabouts all the time. And when I came across now different information out, it makes sense why you want to know, because she's calculating how well she's going to get it in with another dude.
Yeah, that's I never really paid attention to it in my last relationship until now, because my ex was always FaceTime me. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, I'm just checking on you. I'm just checking on you. You're just checking where I'm, at. So I feel like a woman that does that multiple times, always want to FaceTime you. She trying to make sure you are where you are, so she know how much time she has to, get her cheeks clapped.
Bingo.
And, yeah, man. It's like when women, they view cheating. So when a woman cheats, it's a reason, but when a man cheats, he's a dog. You know what I'm saying? He's a dog. But see, we cheat. We don't cheat because of sex. We cheat because of lack of femininity in our relationship. And why you want to, like, you fucking girls, they will say, like, we like the one with the BBLs and stuff, but see, prostitution and all that stuff, the reason why men get prostitute because those women are being feminine. You know what I'm saying? Our own women want to be feminine towards us, And we're more, like Andrew Tate said, and I want to talk about his situation in a later show or whatever. But the reason why, Andrew Tate told Brittany Renner that women, when they cheat emotionally before they cheat physically. Men, we cheat physically before we cheat emotionally.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when a woman's coming on with that femininity, soft nature, stuff like that, that's what lures us. You know what I'm saying? And we some powerful, but if we are getting that feminine nature at the house, we're more or less likely to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
if we are getting femininity from our actual woman. But when we're getting that combativeness and all the other stuff, our women, you know, we deal with stuff out. So, yeah, man. But the whole Gabrielle Union thing, man, I just think it's balderdash, man. That no women is coming out talking about, you know, oh, Gabrielle Union, you're wrong, and all this other stuff. But then, you know, if Dwayne Wade had cheated, then Dwayne Wade, they would have crucified him.
They did. But now this came out almost a week ago. So now we know saying, and let's be honest, let's be fair. They're two of a weird batch of couple. Let's keep real. They let their whole son become a whole, you know, different gender. And their mother's trying to fight hard nailed to not make that a possibility. But the point is this. These two are right for each other because they're both weird in many aspects. You know? She wants to be a man. Let's keep real, right? So she is fulfilling her role as the man of the house. Well, Dwayne rests in his so-called male femininity. If there's such a, you know, word. You know?
Yeah, I was just on Clubhouse. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I'm looking at saying it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. And I'm not saying she probably still doing now because, like I said, you know, if she feels she's in the right mood, that if she make more, she's gonna do it. What's stopping that if she's not making much? She could still do it now, you know. But the relationship she has with Dwayne Wade, I mean, Dwayne doesn't mind because, you know, he's probably maybe clapped some cheats or doing something else loose, you know, who knows. But the point is this, that, you know, I don't expect no female. Only consequence I see that females going to maybe talk about are the ones that might be quote unquote pick me's. I think about that's what they call them. Maybe the pick me chicks. You know, the women, black women that say some dumb junk saying that these women are, you know, that third, you know. But I look at something more than that, you know. But,
did you ever hear the definition of pick me? Like they would say.
Yeah. It
was so weird. Like I don't know any woman that acts like that. Like the definition of pick me is like a woman that basically will embarrass other women for the likes of men. No, I have never seen that.
Mm.
So yeah, but hey man, I got an incoming call, man.
All right, so do your thing because I'm still streaming live now. So I just want your take on it, you know. Oh, Alonzo, are you in the building? Come up, man. Links in the chat room. All right, we'll talk later. All right, I see Mr. Hall. Let me go back because let's take a video of one man real boyfriend Nate. All right, I was just checking some things, guys, and make sure you guys like the stream. Yeah, so there you go. And you know, I never really scoured the internet to check if anyone was going to give some pushback. I doubt a good portion of ladies, including the sisters, going to get pushback to this, because let's be honest, that's something that is pretty cool. You as a man, you should accept it. Don't cheat. I cheat. That's still a controlled relationship. The master, the slave relationship. You think it was going to stop anytime soon? Do you really think that? Do you think that really is a possibility? Oh, no. She's going to screw behind your back. You're going to accept that. Matter of fact, if you don't accept it, what you going to do? You're going to walk off? You're going to do something that's uncharacteristic to her? What are you going to do? And you find out she cheated on you. Let's keep real, fellas. Now, I heard from Mr. Sperling about, you know, some dudes won't handle it and they'll do something. It's not cool, but okay. But really, truly, what really you could do, bro? Anyway, I got one guess. Mr. Alonzo Hall, the all-star, the financier that's going to soon not only have the insurance ready for you, but other things for y'all, business-wise. Stay tuned, people. Stay tuned. Alonzo Hall, you may open your mic.
What's going on, Chaos? How's it going?
What's good? What's good, brother? How you doing?
Chilling. I see the topic. Just so you know, I know you see me on Facebook. I'm in Facebook jail because I was going to war with dudes.
Oh, who you going? Well, was it some dude you were going to war with? Yeah.
There's a bunch of dudes on Facebook. I basically told the dude his mother should have swallowed him, and
Oh,
apparently that went against Facebook standards. And maybe he reported me, but he came with the vitriol, started screenshotting my pictures and stuff. So I was like, all right, well,
okay.
I play with fire too.
Okay. All right. Well, it is. You know what I'm saying? You tell me that you're here to help, with the finances, but you know how most brothers nowadays, either they got their money right and stuff, they're gonna be still intimidated. Say, instead of really learning, say this: if you're in some position in life, this is the second best thing you could do, and it's doable. I'm saying some things that you might have to qualify if depending how you go for your consultation with, but it's doable. And a lot of men not gonna take advantage of. But besides that, let's deal with the subject at hand because divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this whole letting your lady cheat thing, nah, bro. But the reality is, we're in a monogamous society in the United States. If you don't want monogamy, you pretty much got to leave the USA, right?
Okay.
As much as everybody's not religious, the United States of America is a Christian country, just like Iraq is an Islamic country, right? So
Yep.
everybody there follows those customs. The quote unquote cheating, you got your Gabriel unions and so on and so forth. Like you said earlier, bro, if somebody's gonna do something, they're gonna do something, right?
Yes.
So like with me and my wife, we don't worry about that in either direction, right? Like she don't see me talking to some super baddies, pull out my cell phone and get their number right in front of her while we was out to dinner with her and friends from her job.
Yeah.
The friends from her job were unfortunately modern women who were loudmouth and, oh, see, girl, you can't let him da 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 da.
Wow.
And one
You?
of them,
Wow.
one of them actually saw me getting the girl's number. See, look, he's a dog. He's getting their phone number. My wife was like, yes, he sells insurance and investments. He's getting their number to try and sell them some insurance and investments. He ain't worried about them broads. And so what has to happen is we got to start solidifying our relationships. I think what ends up happening is too much of this shit in these spaces is based on sex, right?
Yep.
And that's frivolous. A lot of the problem with that is too many people men and women had a prescription or subscription to Pornhub, right? And so, they're desensitized and everything is sex, sex, sex. And then you got dissatisfied men and dissatisfied women, right? Because women is like, oh, the man can't hit the G spot. And let me explain something to you as an experienced man. Is women out there who's laying there like a dead fish, think they joint is wet and sloppy and it ain't.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got a bunch of people who are unsatisfied sexually because of subscriptions to Pornhub, everybody thinks you're supposed to be grounding and pounding and shooting loads into people's faces. And that's not how sex is. You're not supposed to be and screaming and all that. Sex is pretty much a quiet thing. So unfortunately, everybody thinks it's like a freaking anime and everybody's supposed to be Dragon Ball Z characters. So that's why cheating is happening so much now anyway, because everybody's looking for that Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha wave that ain't gonna happen. My fault.
Yeah, I mean, and at times I allowed the raw conversation today, because I try to be as cultural as possible with some of my streams for better practice, but I get it. My biggest issue with all this is you gotta be honest with yourself at what you're trying to get at if you're trying to initiate some form of relationship and where it's going. And personally, in regards to Miss Union, because she is the face of this conversation, like many other conversations, but I had to deal with a more broader perspective that when I say let your queen cheat, let's be honest, fellas, if you're being productive, you're not gonna know unless there's certain clear signs. Now, as you know, Alonso, why relationships and sex is so focused around certain sectors of the internet, social media stuff amongst us, because that's the focus, and that's where good portion of men see their manhood. Some not even getting access to the women they want, or not getting access at all. So they have to go by other means, And the women that are getting too much of it or not getting what they want, there's a problem in it. So when we look at, the dynamics of, who's getting more sex, from what I'm looking at in the environment and how people move in it and how what is being said, I said a good portion is not getting enough sex. If we're getting it, that this is the biggest issue. It's more of an investment time than anything else. So when we talk about the cheating aspect, there are many things that lead to that, infidelity. But really, the big giver is when you get caught, when say you're giving up that good to somebody else, and that is really the cutoff line. And we look at most relationships, out of the numbers of either is the finance, the infidel, or even uncompatibility, regardless which order it takes it, those are the three main recipes of death to any relationship that's going to either stay around or be done.
Now, this is going to be odd, but I think most people think it's finances over sex. I'm going to say I think it's the opposite. I think what ends up happening is there is sexual issues, whether it be dissatisfaction or lack thereof of the sex, which leads to unhappiness, which leads to, the divorces. And then they just say, oh, it was a financial thing. But like you said, for men specifically, if you're out there being productive, you really ain't gonna know if she doing something because you're busy being productive. The thing about it, though, is, again, when you are being productive as a man, you ain't gonna worry about it. And the reason why you ain't gonna worry about it is because, like I mentioned, right, I was out to a dinner with right. So let me break it down like this, right? My wife works basically as a high power position where she works, right? And again, we tend to go out to like dinner and stuff or drinks with a lot of her friends from work. I'm self-employed in sales, so most of my quote unquote coworkers are mortal enemies of mine, right? So there's no like let's hang out after work because we generally trying to outdo each other and don't like each other. So she has a job where she can be buddy buddy with her friends. I remember one time we went out with her friends from work. And this was early on in our relationship while we were still just boyfriend and girlfriend. And I was working at Macy's Herald Square. That's the Macy's on 34th Street, Miracle on 34th Street, right? I ended up being the top salesperson there in the furniture and mattress department. I was making about $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Okay.
She made substantially more at that point anyway, but to about the tune of 20K more. So she was making about 80K at the time.
Okay.
And the women,
is she like an accountant or in the finance department?
Yeah, she's an accountant.
Okay, all right, keep going. All right,
and so the girls from her job were like, I know he got that job at Macy's, but we got a lifestyle. And these are New York women. So they're very bold with what they say. And it was like, oh, well, he can't keep up with your lifestyle. He's a brokey. Until my wife went to the bathroom, at which point one female that she's no longer friends with was like, damn, Alonzo, why don't you get with me with your fine ass? And I'm like, oh, so it wasn't that I'm a brokey. It's just that you didn't want her to have me. You wanted me to yourself, which I think what a lot of men have to start realizing is women are uber jealous, and they're if not more, they're at least as competitive as men when it comes to mating and dating, and they realize that there are less men than them, so they do a lot of stuff. So even with women cheating, men are going to cheat more because women are going to you don't even want to know how much ass I get thrown at me. And what happens is when you put a wedding ring on, especially as a black man,
oh
my
that's like
God.
a big target. It's you're coveted by somebody, you take care of somebody, you're doing what you're supposed to. You're in a relationship with a woman that's yours. Oh, they're gonna try to demolish that. And I said, we're gonna see how loyal this man is when I fling the coochie on him. See,
bro, I get so much ass thrown at me on a daily basis.
Listen, one time you probably when no one's looking, you and some unknown lady, she go around and she's like lift that skirt, or she'll do that sign, chicks give out signals, you know.
Yeah.
That's how they do it, man.
I mean, I had a situation where I had a chick tell me, ask me, "Don't you want to get me pregnant and leave your wife for me?" And I was like,
Oh, oh.
I'm not gonna tell you the rest of the story because my
Yeah.
wife's here, but
Yeah. Shh. Sorry, Miss Hall. Don't worry about it. I mean, we talking. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Well, it go and I know the frustrating lot of dudes that they want to get the same potential access where they have to do nothing, and a woman just gonna come, but we're not gonna always get that for certain men. I told
I wasn't getting that when I was younger. When I was younger, I was the nerd who got ignored, right? Then I grew up, started slimming out, started, becoming productive, and it just started. They started throwing that ass in a circle. Then I put on the ring, and it was just like homing missile. They just come from out the woodwork, bro. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like literally, I be beating chicks off with a stick.
That's what same for what Kevin said, man. I can't beat them off with a stick. Oh, what's good? Positive vibes. You said let us cheat in peace. Yes, sweetie. You want to cheat in peace and say, don't worry, it's nothing. I just give him a little coochie here and it ain't no big deal, I just give him some front. It's not gonna hurt him. I might give him some sloppy top. It's not a big deal. I just want to do it in peace. Don't get so stingy. What's wrong with you? I'm gonna deal with you second. Let me just deal with this dude that looks fine, and then come to you later. But it lets you know, saying when you're productive, and like AM said, depending on how you do it right, the woman will just be like you'll be like a magnet to certain chicks, and that's what I dudes fail to realize, especially when the dudes that said they're non-select or wherever the case their position is. I said, just be productive. Just do you, work as, put yourself out there where point, a woman's going to be attracted by what you do. They're going to see it, and that's one thing we miss. And a lot of them are trying to force the issue, and you cannot force the issue, especially in God like that. Now,
absolutely.
And again, it becomes problematic. And that's what I've learned. Go ahead.
Like you said, man, just become productive, right? I was that non-select. Bro, in middle school, I was one of those wear my hugging ass niggas, right? Mm-hmm. So I was the dude who would, clamor to the chick for a hug so I could feel her boobs on my chest, right? Mm-hmm. In the 8th grade. And then turn around and get jealous because, she's going to Pound Town with Jason the Jock, right? And all I'm trying to do is at least, feel her boobs on my chest while I hug her. So I understand about being the non-select. So that's why I'm so critical, because I'm like, yo, I was what a lot of these dudes currently are. You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem is at 40, there's a couple of things. Black man, at 40, you shouldn't be working on your mixtape. Let that dream go. Right?
Yeah.
And especially because it's not like when DMX came out and he was 40 and just came into the rap game, because the rap ain't the same no more, right? We don't want to hear your stories of guts and glory, how you was selling cocaine. Now it's so if you ain't rapping like that, they ain't checking for you, right? And dudes that's 40 is still like, man, we got to bring bars back. Bars are done. Right?
You serious? Some of them are older than us, or depending, because we around a generation around the, I think, 80s mostly, that you're not gonna bring back old time music like that. How people had to learn how to put down a simple syllabus, certain words together. Nowadays, as we are all mumble with autotune, and I say you gotta be that now. And let's be honest. If you're born in a generation where certain things were required, unlike most, if they were passed on from No Child Left Behind, then obviously you're going to be using proper terms if you follow school right. These young artists for the last 10 years, all I see is no verbiage, no meaning, no substance in their lyrics they put, because they don't put no work into it. Because there's no need, because it's dumbing down of society. And the society is going where the music goes to tanker and all other aspects of life. So if
Great.
everything, and let's think about this. People don't understand when we talk about school systems. And I'm gonna go there, just to be off topic. It is really intentionally designed to now for last couple of decades, maybe 40 or 50 years. I'm just being conservative with it. That it should make you dumb and put you in a position now where we see people now inside where people are and where they're going. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people can't function properly in society. I mean, think about we're not even interact. Most of the time, we get outside enough. We don't interact with people. We're being more disconnected with these electronic devices. So, really, truly, and here's the funny thing about it: we know that some ladies still have the advantage in regards to cheating, but here's now, because everybody got social media now, you can obviously know what your woman's doing now, especially meeting for the first time. Let's be honest, guys. I don't care how much they want to hide it. You can't hide it because everything's put out. Your business being put out the internet. You know?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Now, 20 years ago, it'd be more challenged to find out. But now, no, not really. You know, depending on how she moves. Most chicks nowadays, do got OnlyFans.
Facts.
So obviously, if she got OnlyFans, and I might start doing content on this other stream, on this other channel that have this woman be having selecting men, and if they don't fit the bitch, she say next person. I might start doing content because I've noticed there's so much dudes that's up there trying to shoot their shot on a female's show. It's just ridiculous. I'm not saying some dudes might not got game or something, but I'm looking at say, brothers, this is the reason why the women are still in control because they know you're thirsty. It's ridiculous.
Preach.
Now I have Lena on the studio. What's good, Lena? Can you hear me?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, your audio is wonderful now, Lena. We had such a hard time struggle with it. What's good? I know. What can you add on to tonight's conversation? And what's good, Wisdom Turkish?
Winston, what's up? I'm in Facebook jail, bro.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi, Lena.
I can add to, previous comment, me being like a hip hop fan. Oh, yes. Hip hop has kind of took a downward spiral. The only positive thing I've seen was Kendrick Lamar, and when he received a Nobel Prize for his album, I think that was awesome. That's the only gains that hip hop has made. And then you have a few artists like J. Cole and people who still rapping like Nas. You still have some legends, but yes, it's kind of bleak. I'm praying that hip hop returns to the glory days and rap about more substance and meaning instead of like we really listened to a guy named Panda and the whole thing was like I was like, what?
I got bros in Atlanta. Hebedidibididema. Hejibadibidana. And I think I'm wearing bandanas.
That's good. But let me ask you a question, Leon, since you're on the stream. In regards to let your queen cheat in peace. Am I right? I'm wrong. Should the ladies cheat and be let known and cheat and a man should not either accept it, but should they cheat in comfort without no problem? What's your views and opinions on it overall? And be honest. You get me?
When you're talking about cheating, I think no. Like I know there's some people in open relationships, that's fine if there's an agreement or whatever.
Right.
But cheating, no. I think this discusses too many diseases going around. And I guess I'm really weird. I'm of the belief I would hate to sleep with another man.
Oh, stop, Lena. Repeat your sentence. It broke up too many times.
I'm sorry.
Repeat your sentence. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I would
Say
hate
it again.
I would hate to sleep with another man outside of my mate and then come home to sleep with him and give him like sloppy seconds and he's really with me. He's the one that's doing the work and investing in me. And then I'm going out and just sleeping with someone else. And I think it's nasty. It's just nasty. I couldn't do it.
But my thing, Lena, some women, once Gabrielle admits she did that to her first husband, personally, I don't see much energy or any pushback. But we all know when Mr. Samuels was alive and he said men exercise option, there was a whole ruckus, a whole uproar. But then again, Gabrielian said it. I don't see much now. I could be wrong because the algorithm may not hit on my side of things on my feed to find
Mhm.
any content. But personally, I should not be surprised to see any content. I might see maybe one or two female content creators that might go in on it personally and don't disdain hate for it. But I don't see a lot of women have no problem with Gabrielle is doing because she says she made the most money, so she should, like her father said, if her father ever told her that, should be the spoils should go to the richest.
I feel differently. Like I looked at her differently when she said that. You
Mhm.
know, her as a black woman, and I feel like they're just gonna think and look. That gives them an excuse, and she already has a bad rep. Like they really
Mm.
blame her for Wade
Yeah,
trying. Yeah,
turn his son into something that he should not be. I know, we know that.
Mm.
right. And I don't think she did that. I really believe that's all his doing. And she's taking and they said, oh yeah, she doubled back. They had a break or whatever, and she was dating while he actually had an outside. But like they always drag her, and I don't see why they drag her the way they do. I'd rather drag her for this because and then the way she normalized it, she made it like normal. Well, since I made money, like it was an excuse. I would have felt better if she would have said, I cheated and I was wrong.
Mm.
Because
And I,
if you can excuse your behavior, remember she was mad at LeBron for having an outside baby and they were broken up.
Yeah,
So
Dwayne,
right.
if you can excuse your behavior, you can forgive LeBron. Not LeBron. You could forgive Wade.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I feel like if she can excuse herself, she should definitely be able to excuse her husband and stop getting mad every so often. He made more money.
Substantially. But he definitely doesn't have the possibility of as long of a career as hers, just playing devil's advocate. But in all honesty, um, with a lot of these men, we hear, well, for men, sex is just sex. It's nothing more than sex, and there's no emotions in it. And then, we see the one that we call our woman shake another man's hand and is, oh my God, you devastated me. So, realistically, like you said, if people got to be comfortable in either being in an open relationship, right, being secure enough in their own. And I understand, why the double standard is there from men because of the possibility of pregnancy, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to not be the one who passes on your lineage, right? If for example, if you're in a polyamorous relationship with two men and one of them gets you pregnant, which one is it, right? And then they are going to duel it out to figure out who. So I can
Mm-hmm.
understand that issue,
Mm-hmm.
but realistically as men we shouldn't really care, right? Because it's just sex, right? It's not like she's going and being emotional with this other guy, right? And it's not like she's giving this other guy her feelings. She's just giving up the guts. She's busting a nut, right? Like
Well,
so
see,
you
yeah.
know it technically should. Now I'm not saying that I'm cool with that, just so we preface. What I'm saying is
Mhm.
if we're gonna what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
Right.
And to be honest, a lot of dudes, oh, that's some cuckold stuff. Okay, sure. But what's more cuckold than having your annual subscription to Pornhub, right? You're sitting there watching people who ain't even there.
Right.
So, you know, it's six and a lot of these dudes know the names of people at and I don't even know what that stands for, but AVN Awards. I guess it's Adult Video Network Awards,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they be like, I know, Blonde Blonsky and uh 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 I don't know,
Mr. Marcus, I'm mad.
yeah,
I know
Mr.
it.
Marcus and uh whoever else.
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy and well, there's one I do know, Pinky, right? Everybody know Pinky, but that's because she got pink hair.
Mhm.
But so they know all these people, and it's like, well, these people by name, they stats, how tall they are, what their
Mhm.
favorite food is, but you won't do it in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
Mhm. And
crazy.
I could tell you, like, I've been, cheated on, and I could tell you, like, how I think, because I've had people say, oh, it's just sex. But, I feel like it raises the concern of competition, taking time away from me, and that person is a threat. Anybody, like, let's say it's just physical, but like, what if you like it enough one day you leave me, or you find someone else who does something better than me and you rather be with them because they're better in bed than me? Or you sit there and you take time out of our relationship, and our relationship is suffering, while you sit up there investing in someone else and making your relationship with them stronger. I feel like they'll pull you away from me. So I feel like when they be like, oh, it's just physical, whatever, you still investing in someone else, and you still posing a risk to your mate.
Yeah, I could see that. But like you said, the main thing in my brain would be, man, listen, especially because, right, as dudes, we know we can be unscrupulous, but we also, for one reason or another, again, don't realize that as unscrupulous as we can be, a woman can be probably much more unscrupulous, right? Prime example,
Mhm.
I know a guy who's married to a woman, and I hang out with him as friends. And this woman is sleeping with my other friend.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman goes over to my other friend's house and is like, oh, I'm just braiding his hair, and tells that to her husband.
Mhm.
And she's been sleeping with this other guy for quite some time. This other
Oh,
guy then caught her in the vehicle with a third dude,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so in my mind, I, as a dude, would have an issue cheating because I'm like, this woman, first of all, in terms of exercising options, right? Like I said, when you put a ring on your finger and you're a productive man, women are going to throw it at you, right? But as a woman, if you just have female parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men are
mhm.
going to throw it at you. I don't care if you're fat, skinny, tall, quote unquote ugly, black, white, purple, pink, uh, you got pimples all over your face. If you've got jiggly, jiggly parts, some man wants to stick his stuff in you.
Yep.
So you're automatically, probably by the time I get, 5 chicks throwing it at me, you've got 50 dudes throwing it at you. So
That's a
you've got
lot.
more at bats. So the
Mhm.
possibility for you to do so is automatically there because every man is like, hey, that's a woman, I'm down. Hey, that's a woman, I'm down. Hey, so you're gonna get hollered at 15 times from your front door to to your car. Meanwhile, I got to make sure I'm productive before these women, and most of the time women aren't bold enough to really approach you. I've had some women who are, but most of the time they'll just do things to try and make you holler at them, like bump their ass into you while you're walking, or you know, I had a woman who,
Breast
literally
her
I was
breast
walking out
against
of the
you.
barber shop. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
walking out of the barber shop and she stops short in front of me, so I have no choice but to run into her ass, right? And I'm like, yo, chick, I'm married. Get the fuck, excuse me, back up, right?
I like
Like,
I like that energy though.
well,
Be
that's
like,
because I
oh,
take,
shit, I'm married.
yeah,
Right. I
well,
need that
I
energy.
take
Like
my marriage
I'm
personally.
like,
Eh,
right.
You're breaking up a little bit. Say
I
that one more
like
time.
I feel like when
Yeah,
guys
Leah, you're in the bad area.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry to blink. We can't hear it. It's going. It's staticking. It's bad right now.
yeah, it's
If you
Borgin.
could jump down, jump back in. Maybe crack it. Make sure your bars are at a certain level. It has to be full, but just enough. Because when you're using your phone or something, it's gonna do this. Yeah, that's a crazy story.
But yeah, man, listen, I've had so many of those things. But
Yeah.
again, as a man, I'm thinking, What am I going to bring home, right? But forget even what am I going to bring home to this woman? What is this woman going to give me? Like, I remember when I was 18, right? And me and my homies used to do wild things to women, right? We used to bring them to the house and all take turns, right? And this one white girl got the ultimate revenge on all of us, right? We was all, oh yeah, come on over, da 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 da. We're dudes from the hood, and you like the BBC, come get it. Well, she made sure to give revenge to all of us by giving us all the clap during Thanksgiving weekend. So it wasn't like we could go to the clinic and get rid of the clap, right? So I think of stuff like that, like damn, you know, and she just willingly let a multitude of dudes take turns on her, right? And realistically, a lot of dudes don't even understand how the anatomy works, so they think that because a woman has many partners, she's somehow getting looser. And I'm like, you guys do understand that an entire human comes out of this thing, right? An entire human, and then it closes back up and tightens back up. So your little hot dog of, if you're wearing a Magnum, is 7.5 inches, right? Because people think you've got a huge log if you're wearing a Magnum condom. Newsflash: Magnum condoms are no bigger than regular condoms, except for when you open it, when you open it, it's looser, right?
Mhm.
But I ain't never fit a baggy Magnum, so
Okay.
Magnums ain't for humongous. Or a regular condom can fit across your arm anyway. So
Yeah.
dudes got to stop this "I'm the biggest Johnson in the world" nonsense, right? Like dead ass. Like average size is probably 8 inches, right? So we ain't.
Well, it depends what you're talking about. Because when they do studies, it said roughly is this is what it said.
5 or 6.
When you Google it, this is what this Google said is roughly close to 6.
Yeah.
So anything bigger than that, and obviously they're probably speaking on these other groups of people. But if you're a brother and you fit the norm that is said, then that's possible. But and really to talk about size of men's Johnson, it's not really a focus because either you got it or not. There's always no one saying that unless you're getting some with wherever you're equipped and you're not getting what you need from that what you're supplying, then that's on you, fella.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
I'd rather have someone that's more like mentally in tune and emotionally in tune sexually than like a size, me personally. Like
Right.
someone that you connect to.
but
Even
you got to understand, Lena.
Mhm.
To women that let's say are focused on the size, okay. The first thing that comes to my mind, personally, and it's gonna be very uncomfortable, is that you've been banging a lot of men that either are bigger than what you expect or whatever. Because to really know about the size at this point, you gotta be putting yourself out there as a lady, as a woman. You get me?
Mhm.
The less the body, the more, and depending who you screwing, that also is a determining factor. But overall, most of these ladies today are having multiple partners, unfortunately. And much I don't want to say it, but this is the reality as we see today in the environment. For a reason. See, what Gabrielle Union is just revealing what's already out here for the average modern day man and woman today, especially women, that what they're already doing, engaged in already.
And you know what? Another thing we haven't talked about. I think just looking at it in this way, I think it was something that, to me personally, she should have kept it to herself. If you're not going to sit there and say, I feel wrong, I shouldn't have done it. Maybe she didn't. Like, even if I didn't feel wrong about it, I okayed it, I wouldn't have mentioned it. Because I think by doing it, that she embarrassed her ex-husband and kind of emasculate her. Like, everyone is looking and focusing on her, but no one looks at him like, he's a victim. She cheated. It wasn't an open relationship. Like, how does that make him feel that you slept with someone, you cheated on me, you exposed me to diseases, and now after we're divorced, you're putting it out there. You're a famous figure, and people know I was married to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Well, you know, like I said, Lena, I think the one thing that gravitates a lot of modern women to Gabrielle is she's that woman that she's very much in control of everything, including her her mate.
Mhm.
Same with Jada Pinkins. Every woman, this is just me, desires to be that completely in control. I mean, complete, literally.
Okay, yeah, no,
I don't
I'm.
experience. I've never experienced that.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
Even
yeah.
like even when I was a dude who was living at my grandmama's house, right?
Mhm,
Every woman that I've and I don't know, like I said, I was the non-select, like so a lot of these guys in this space say. So it's not like I was the jock or the multimillionaire earner or the best body or not, or had the sports car.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I was a brokey living in my grandmama's house, right?
mhm,
And chicks still came home with me, maybe because they wanted a brokey or thought they would control me, but it came to a point where they always ended up, uh, for lack of a better term, submitting or following with my program, right? They would always have me take the lead, right?
mhm,
So I would lead and they would follow. I'd say something, they'd be like, what you say goes, not in a subservient manner, but in a, all right, this dude seems to have a plan type shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, a lot of times I don't think we realize that. Now I do encounter, some loudmouth wannabe controlling women,
mhm.
and I don't deal with them. Right? I'll toss a chick off real quick. And these are from my single days, right?
Yeah.
Again, I was non-select, but as soon as I saw a neck snap, I didn't care how big of booty of the Judy you was, right? And and I've had some stereotypical things too. Like I remember I had a, you could call her a video vixen. We did what we did. She was like, "Hey, come over again." I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to cook me a meal." She said, "Hey, I'm gonna make you some ramen noodles." I said, "Click," and never went to visit her again.
Oh wow. So okay, I would like to. Okay, so was that a requirement for in like someone you were interested beyond sex, or was it like, oh, I'm pursuing her, like relationship or whatever? Did you have like higher standards, or was it more of like a situationship? Like, why did you require her to cook?
I wanted a relationship.
Oh, then yeah, I understand.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So
That's only
this is
fair. I can't believe she said ramen noodles.
Well, here's the thing,
Wow.
and this is why, often it's like a lot of the controlling and a lot of the cheating, right? So, and I've said this before, men want marriages,
Mhm.
women want weddings, which is why you'll often see the 14 times divorced guy getting on wife 15.
Mm-hmm.
And when a woman divorces once, I'm never getting married again. Because
For the most
often
part, yeah.
women want weddings and men want marriages. Men thrive on that bro. I don't buy my own drawers, right? All I
Mhm.
wear is Calvin Klein drawers because that's all my wife will buy.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? I don't even
So
know what size
cute.
underwear I wear because I leave that to my wife,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
what ends up happening is, often though, dudes are looking for mommy as
Mhm.
opposed to a help me. Right? And so we end up wanting certain things, especially black men. We end up wanting like white patriarchy and stuff, right? But
Mhm.
like, let me break something down. Call me a simp, whatever. When I get my money, right? And my wife is an accountant, so it kind of makes sense. I bring the
Mhm.
money into the house. I give the money to the wife. She takes care of the house and the bills and everything because I
Mm-hmm.
give her all the money. She gives me some of my own money to go frivolously spend.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the strip club, go, get, your liquor, whatever it is. Well, she don't say
Yeah.
go to the strip club, but
Well, you should give you play money. Go have
yeah,
fun. Buy
go have
something.
fun. And
Yeah.
well, she knows I don't go to the strip club because I told her I don't like the strip club because I had a bad experience. I got kicked in the face by a stripper at the
Did she have
strip
Ooh.
heels
club.
on? Did she have heels?
Yes.
Oh God.
And this was my first and last time going to the strip club ever because she kicked me in the face. And I was like, bitch, you just kicked me in the face. And I ain't get to touch nothing to nothing. And I'm supposed to give you, man, listen. So, I'm a little unorthodox when it comes to stuff, right? A lot of guys don't have the same viewpoint as me, nor the same experiences. And I understand that. But again, I also understand similarly because I was that non select, right?
Mhm.
I was that egghead dude. I was that where's my hug at ass nigga in middle school.
Mhm.
I
So,
don't see, but I don't see you being like non-select. I know your experience. Okay, me on the outside looking in, to me by your avatar, you seem attractive, and the fact that you're confident and you have that attitude, like, bitch, I ain't coming over here and not cooking. I can see women like flocking to you. The only thing I can see maybe like some women like, because like height, like some women like a man taller or, they're insecure themselves. Like let's say a woman is 5'7", she would want a man that's like 6 feet or taller. I
mhm.
can kind of understand it. I don't see why you consider yourself non-select.
Oh,
Mhm.
I was, mind you, I didn't have nearly the confidence that I do today. Um,
Oh, okay.
I work in financial services and sales. So, I was a stockbroker on Wall Street, right? So my job every day was to pick up the phone 400 times and have people curse me out all day and beg for money. So you get a thick skin, right? Um,
Is that kind of like you ever see the movie Pursuit of Happiness? Kind of like what he was doing?
yeah,
Mm.
he was working for I think Morgan Stanley Smith
Morgan
Barney Dean
Stanley.
Witter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of the same thing, right? When you're working, I was actually on Wall Street, right? So like you're gonna gain an era of confidence there. Um, but you kind of have to build yourself. And I also a lot of this, um, I grew up without my father. So there was that non select, and a lot of men grow up without their father, and you get a lot of feminine energy placed on you because, unfortunately, women think that they can raise a man, but you just can't because you can raise a boy from boyhood to manhood, but you cannot raise a boy into a man simply because there's energy and literally things like pheromones that you won't create that a male will, right?
Mhm.
So
I
there's
agree with
literally,
that. I,
yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Like you could provide and nurture a boy, without a dad, but he would not be completely what I would say. I mean, I've seen it go different ways. Like I had a cousin, who he raised his daughter. His wife died, and it was hard. He could not relate like to her and like her changes. She was running games. She didn't go to school because it's the time of month. I'm like, she can go to school. She's
wow.
running game on you. But yeah, go ahead. I want to derail, but
No, no,
yeah,
no, that's fine.
I understand where you're coming from. I agree, and I knew a gay guy. He was very feminine, and he raised his nephew. And for a long, I felt bad for the kid, but he was picking up and mimicking and doing what his uncle doing. And so kids used to think he was gay, but he wasn't gay. He grew out of it. Like once he was around other guys and when he was a teenager, but he really wasn't gay, but he didn't know any better because he was by his uncle all the time. You're right.
Yeah. And even, yeah, like when you get grown up near effeminate men, they are going to give off a certain, I don't want to say pheromone, but a chemical that it just translates, right? Like in the black community, we usually, when a young man is getting through puberty, he's smelling his nuts. Well, when he's smelling his nuts, you need a man there to say, "Hey, my nuts smell a little muskier," right?
Mhm. Right.
That's kind of how that works. It's just like a lion in the jungle. Um, so what ended up occurring though was I actually met my father over the phone, and I started to understand a little more about myself. Um, though my father, personally, unfortunately, my father was a pookie. Um, he ran the streets. He's an ignorant ass nigga. I don't really respect the dude. He's 50 something years old, just got off papers for shooting a nigga. So, it is what it is. I'm glad that I existed. But other than that, you know, he's
Mhm.
he's he just is what he is. So that does help to create, the confidence. But one of the things about um being initially non-select
Mhm.
that will change your confidence, etc., is knowing that, accepting that, and kind of moving forward, right? So I'm like, okay, it was what it was. But also, and I don't think dudes realize this, what about the Raggedy Ann girl who was the ugly girl in middle school, the ugly girl in high school, and now when we're 20, 30, she's starting to blossom. And then, oh my God, at 40, even though, the quote unquote, that's when you hit the wall, but the hitting of the wall is because dudes don't be hitting walls, but we're not going to go there. Um, and then she actually flourishes. Her body starts to shift and change. Now, you also have to realize this may be another reason that, like Gabrielle Union cheated, because when men are in their 40s, right, we're at a decline section. I ain't trying to have sex all day every day no more. When I was 20, that was cool, right? Now I'm trying to come, bust a nut, be out. Give me 15, 20 minutes. That's all you getting, and you ain't getting that every day.
I noticed too. Like at 40, I guess I'm on that dating. A lot of men are starting to get, health problems like high blood pressure, which can contribute to ED and stuff like that. I'm starting
True.
to see men like, dealing with that. But I just got a question. I just got a theory. Don't take it offensive if I offend. Please forgive me ahead of time. Were you friend zone a lot? Because I can honestly see you being like, before you're married, like the plan B guy, like, yeah, I should settle down, but I want to play, but he's gonna be my friend, and I'll date him after when I'm ready. I can see
Believe
it.
it or not, no. So ironically enough, I wasn't. What I was oblivious, right?
Mhm,
So, like you said, you couldn't see me being non-select. I was like I had to find out that I had like a what did she call it? A fan club,
mhm,
right? I had no clue, right? Because I wasn't picking up on the cues, but since like 10th grade, chicks used to throw themselves at me, but it would just go way over my head. I had no clue,
mhm,
right? Um, so maybe that is, portion of the friend zone, but like they'd just be, hey, we trying to give you signals. We giving you choosing signals. I didn't understand. And that's probably where a lot of quote unquote non-select guys are, is they're oblivious to the choosing signals, right? Like I said, women will do slight things to kind of try and make you choose them. The flipping of the hair, maybe, shaking up their bosom. Shit, I had a girl go so far as I took the girl to my prom.
Mm-hmm.
She went as far as she really wanted to be with me, but I just kept, pushing her off. So she went and dated my best friend. Um, but then, like, things like we would do pooky stuff like borrow her car, but she wouldn't let him borrow her car. She would only let me take the keys to the car. But I'm
mhm.
like, but you sleeping with this dude every day. You won't let him drive your car? No, but you can. And I still was
Wow.
oblivious. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
there's
know to
that.
me, I had a guy like that, and I was oblivious to him. Like I always thought, like he was a nice guy. He was good looking, fine. He would carry my books, and we were like friends. I didn't give him a chance at the time because he was too young for me. But I used to
Mm.
try to hook him up with girls, letting him know, like, yeah, you fly. I wasn't. He was like, then one day he's like, so can we go out? And I'm thinking, dude, you're 17 and I'm 20. I know you're a genius in college, but you're a little bit too young for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
But
never knew he liked me though until he just came out and said it. Like you're not getting it.
well,
Mm.
let I have D-Rail on the panel. As you know,
You're
D-Rail,
welcome.
let me ask you a
What's up,
question,
brother?
D-Rail. How you doing? How you doing? Let me ask you a question, D-Rail, because you counsel a lot of people span of over 20 years. In regards to the title, and I said it earlier, let your queen cheat. Is it really, because what Gabrielle is doing, and she is one of many modern women that expressing and give justification of why she wants to engage in infidelity. Is it cool or nice for the sisters or any woman to cheat, and that men should not really be concerned about it? That's my question.
Not if you're trying to operate in a effective long-term relationship. Most men are not going to agree to that and turn a blind eye, just like for most women are not going to turn a blind eye to a man cheating. So that goes both ways. But we also have to understand when we're looking at situations with like Gabrielle Union and her
Jada.
husband.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're looking at the fact that they have a very unique relationship. It's not, they have a very atypical relationship compared to what most people are ascribing to. I mean, they, many individuals who are, at that level in Hollywood, NBA players, I mean, they don't necessarily operate as far as what they look at as far as monogamy and things like that. They're a little bit more flexible than a typical situation. And on my channel, on my dating coach channel, I kind of talk a lot about issues relating to what builds a long-term, effective, productive relationship. And part of that, people, ascribe to wanting monogamy for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know too many relationships where people are okay with sharing their partner. That's just the reality. Now, are there situations where people over time may be open to a pass or open to a open relationship, or they tolerate certain things by knowing a person did certain things? But even in that situation, everybody has a cutoff level where they can only accept so much, and then they willing to move on. Now, when we're talking about Gabrielle Union and people like of her ilk and people like Dwayne Wade and stuff like that, I mean, these people probably have never practiced being faithful to anybody ever in their life, and that's probably, and they probably have an understanding that, hey, we're going to be together, we're married, so forth, but we're going to, engage in a certain manner, and that's okay as long as adults you communicate with that, and that's the standard that you create for your own relationship. Because every relationship is different. Everybody has different rules and regulations of what they will allow and what they won't. But when you're looking at a typical relationship of a man and a woman, I don't care what age, generation, what's going on. I don't know too many relationships where people are okay with letting the partner cheat, man or woman, husband or wife. That's just not the reality. When we look at people who get divorced, the primary reasons people get divorced in this country is behind infidelity, money, and the way they in value system as far as how they raise their children. So those are like the top three things, and monogamy is infidelity, or the lack of monogamy is one of the biggest reasons why women file divorce. Men usually file for divorce if it's something in regards to things that they feel the woman is not doing in regards to the household or raising children, or some things as far as character that they can't get along with over as far as long term, and that's the reality of it. I have never been in any situation as far as in my field of work where I've seen people okay with the other person having alternative and extracurricular activities. Now, what I have found is that the couples who function the best in that are those who actually sit down and they communicate about, hey, look, this is where we at in our relationship. Obviously, you want to do this, I want to do that, or we both are doing certain things how can we come to an understanding? This is how we want to function. If we want an open relationship, or when we party together. You need to let me know what you're doing. And even for those who have open relationships, swinging and stuff, there's rules to that. Most couples that I know that swing or have open relationships, they want total transparency with the person that their partner is with. You know, so even within that, there's some rules and regulations. So, I mean, she's doing what she's doing because she probably has total transparency and honesty with Dwayne Wade, and they're both doing the same thing.
Deidre, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
sorry. Can I just ask a question? Since I know you're an expert, Derail, I was wondering, how do you feel as the reasoning? Like, I feel like also too, because she made more money. She was saying, I feel like she's saying that you have less value in this relationship because you make less money. Like, I feel like she's throwing it in her mate's face that I'm able to do this because, hey, I make more money. And it makes me wonder, so if he made more money, you wouldn't do it? Like, how does that play? Does money play like a role in the way she viewed her mate and intimacy? I felt like some type of way. So suppose he made more, was it okay if he cheated on you?
Who stated that? Did Gabrielle Union state that?
Yes.
She doesn't make more money than Dwayne Wade.
No, she cheated on her first husband, her ex-husband.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is this: when it comes to, because I don't want to get into the hypergamy talking points, but what I can say is that if she stated she felt like she could afford to cheat because her husband, because she made more money than him, then that's telling me she had issues with marrying him in the first place because she made more money than him.
Mm-hmm.
So
I felt that way too.
So her saying that was a function of her feeling like she settled for a man that cannot provide her that extra luxury level security. And it speaks to a lot of black women that I have seen before in the past who choose to date men who make less money than them, and they in doing so, what I found that many of them find that it feels okay at the beginning, okay, but as time moves forward, what they find out is there are certain characters, there's certain things that person possess that presents itself with, which causes her to perceive why he makes less money. And those character flaws that get in the way of him being more successful present itself in the relationship. Like, for example, I'm just right now, I have about maybe 5 or 6 African American women who are in counseling right now with me who make more money than the person that they're dating, whether they're married, engaged, or whatever, right? In each of those situations, the issue is the fact that, and I just think that in our culture, good or bad, we are conditioned to, even in the modern time, and this is not a matter of modern woman, modern man, and all this other stuff that they talk about on YouTube, but we are conditioned to think that a man is supposed to make more money than you, and if he doesn't, there is some level of lack of security. Even if you're making $250,000 and this man is making $50,000, which I have situations like that, right? The nature of this country conditions women and men to feel that a man must make more money, and if he doesn't, then there's a level of uncertainty that can happen in the relationship in which this man cannot provide an economic safety net for his wife. So what happens is that a lot of African American women would tell me, well, what happened if I lose my job or something goes wrong with my, can he pick up the pace? Can he pick up the bills and do things to carry us over until I um get back where I need to go? As opposed to when it comes to men, men are thinking I'm on, I should already be able to do that. So when you have women who make this decision, what they found, what many of them have complained to me about is that, well, he's complacent. He's not ambitious enough. He don't want to get further education. He doesn't want, and I'm saying to them, well, you knew this when you dated him. You didn't learn this just recently. He basically presented himself as a guy who has, a high school education with maybe a certification that makes $50,000-$60,000 a year working a blue collar job. He presented himself that way. So the issue is that some of these women think that by them coming into a man's life, this is supposed to project him to, or inspire him to maybe want to match or do better than her, in which some men are not built that way. They're fine with the $50,000-$60,000 that they are making. They're comfortable with their job. They're looking to put in 20-30 years and retire, and nothing is wrong with that. So what happens is these high income earners as women, they want guys who match them in drive, ability to succeed, and even if they don't necessarily make more money, but they want to see that same level of competitiveness, that same level of wanting to succeed and be consistent and doing these things. And what happens is they start bumping heads because the guy who makes $50,000-$60,000 doesn't want to do those extra things to make more money. They just want to be consistent in what they've been doing as far as the job that they're working. They don't want to start a business. They don't want to, go back and get some extra certifications or training or, do these different conferences and things like that. They just want to maintain the level that they're at. And so, I do, and so for a lot of women, they feel like, well, then if I am basically the man, the breadwinner, and I'm making the money, and he can't provide that safety net, well, I have the right to do what I want. He can't tell me anything.
Question. And actually, I wanna get both you and Lena's perspective, Dieterel. I'll start with you, however. Do you think that from what you're stating, and I've been having this kind of conversation as well, specifically when it comes to Black women, because I've had that conversation with some of my female family members, and so I work on 100% commission, right? So like,
Right.
I could make $1 million tomorrow, or I could make $0 a year, right? And so I remember I had a female family member of mine tell me she thought that my wife ran our relationship because she makes consistent more money than I do. But I was like, well, I make one sale and I make in one transaction what my wife makes in 3 months. But she also doesn't run anything. And she lets that be known. I am the man of the relationship. So, what I say goes. And, I run a house of happy spouse, happy house, not happy wife, happy life. Right. So we make each other happy. But my question is, do you think with what you stated earlier about the Black woman that unfortunately it seems like Black women tend to date potential as opposed to ambition?
And
Yes
before you
and
answer
no.
that question, Deidre, I have people watching right now, and I put the donation. Y'all guys can throw some in the bucket. I don't ask much, but come on, throw some in the bucket. This is a very insightful conversation. And like I said, Deidre is more this is field. So guys, donate if you can, please. Just as y'all liking. Please throw something in the bucket. The link is in the chat room. Go ahead, Deidre.
So when you ask a very very dynamic question that has a lot of different layers to it, I think that black women date the men that are available to them. And it just so happened in this system that we're in, there are a lot more women who are seeking degrees over the last 20, 30 years and higher education and having access to other jobs that black men, because of where we are in the community and things of that sort, we're not excelling at the level that we should be excelling. So when we look at probability, most black women are probably going to, not necessarily saying that they're going to out earn the person that they're dating, but there's a high probability that you're going to date men, even men that are probably less educated than you and make less money. Now, I don't think that black women, in all intents purposes, are seeking out, or they just want to work with a brother, even though there are black women who do want to do that, allegedly. However, we have to look at what we are producing as a community. And what we are producing is that when you go to HBCUs and you go to other different colleges, you're seeing more women in higher education than men. Oh yeah, go ahead, sister.
There was a study that I read that black women tend to date down, and they did this other thing. They was doing a poll. No, there's just a road on the street, just as a kind of a legit poll, and they asked how important is money to you, and most black women were saying, "Oh, it's important, but if you didn't have a job," they will say, "I would work with someone who is, down on their luck or trying." A lot of black women, and I am the same. I'm like that. Like my last relationship was like that. I dated someone that was going through change a career.
Yeah, but since this is the problem, a lot of and that is true. There are a lot of black women who say that, but as the relationship progresses, they are going to increase expectations. So it doesn't, even though initially they may have that mindset, the expectations change over time. And just because they dated you with nothing, don't mean 5 years from now you still can't have nothing.
Right.
And that's the issue. And so what I teach and instruct black women to do is, if you claim that you want to date, you don't, and then there are a ton of black women who are willing to date a man who makes less money. I encourage black women to when you decide to have a long-term relationship with this person, meaning you see this person as a potential husband, you have to foresee, what is his vision 5, 10, 15 years down the line. If you are dating a guy who is a school teacher making $55,000 a year and he wants to be a school teacher, he's 28 and he wants to retire at 65 as a school teacher, then you have to accept that. If you can't accept that, then that is not the person you want for you. And so you trying to change him and say, well, why don't you start your own school? Why don't you create a educational software or do educational training, and you can double your salary, to 150,000 or something like that. That is great, and to me, from a business standpoint, that is correct. But unless that person already has that in mind for themselves, you interjecting that to them may not be received as well, because that's not maybe his dream, or that may not be something he wants to invest his life in. Some people are complacent with where they are. Some people are actually happy and complacent with the fact that they have a job that they're going to be off on weekends. They got the holidays. I make about $50K a year. I live within my means. I don't have crazy debt. I'm fine with that. You know, and to me, there are a lot of brothers who are overlooked, who are in that blue collar range of making about 60 to 75 to 80K, that they're not extravagant. You know, they don't live extravagant. They don't have a lot of debt. They save their money. They're not making crazy money, but they are slowly, progressively saving and building, and they'll have a nice nest egg when they get in their 60s. And a lot of those brothers are overlooked because of the type of jobs that they do. That they're not in the most glamorous of situations. And
Facts.
so when we have African American women who, um, because I have a master's degree, I want a person that has a master's or PhD, which to me, that is nothing wrong with that. However, having those things are superficial as it relates to the relationship, because having a master's degree doesn't mean that you're going to be a great husband. Having a PhD doesn't mean you're going to be a great husband. Um, Being a software engineer doesn't mean you're going to be a great husband. It looks good. The facade that you can put socially in public, it looks great. You know, just like men
Dude,
want,
are
there's a
you
lot of
really
men.
just talking to me? That is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But that's really
You say
like what
what?
happened. That was my ex. That's really what happened. That's what my ex is, a software
Let me
engineer.
ask you this, Lena,
hmm
because you said you worked with the guy, right? So that's actually perfect because you said a lot of the black women were like, "Oh, money doesn't matter. I'll work with the guy."
hmm
So, like, here's one of the things that I say. Um, in terms of a woman who makes more than me. And this maybe will give some clarity to you, and you can maybe give this clarity to a lot of other black women. So, again, my major question is with this man, did you date potential or did you date ambition? And I'll give you some clarity with that. Prime example, I already explained that my wife on paper has a salary greater than mine, right? But I will tell you, she may out earn me, but she will never outwork me. So
hmm
that's ambition, right? Potential is, well, he makes $55,000 as a teacher. He potentially could start a school or open his own software business. But like D. Durrell said, he ain't got the ambition to do that. He's fine with making 55 grand and retiring in 65. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's potential because he could potentially do something. And I think what a lot of black women do is date potential and mistake it for ambition.
Right. I guess you got a point. Mine was ambition because he became a software engineer. Our biggest problem was, it's me too. Like, I really thought, okay, because I'm doing all this for him, he's gonna be so endearing and love me so much because I was supportive when he was down. That's not
Right.
true. They can always you can like invest in someone so much, and once they get on, they'll leave you, and
And
it
when
will
he
Well,
get
up the
on,
grade.
leave your ass for a
you know
white
what?
girl. No, let me stop.
I'm glad you
No,
stated that.
actually, yeah,
Interesting.
I actually left him, but it
Yeah,
was like it was the better than me that I couldn't take after that too, being supportive. I'm so much more than you, and I'm so intelligent. Biology isn't a real science. I'm like, oh God,
wow.
I
But you
felt
know what?
belittled.
That happens a lot. That when and then you have to also take into account that a person changes when they come to that success. Success can change a person. I'm gonna be honest. When I started my own business and I start making over six figures, I my mindset changed. I had to
Mhm.
basically check myself as far as start getting a bigger head and being in my ego was getting inflated because of my success. And what this is what white women do. And I don't want to. I know we're talking about the black community, but a lot of other communities they have a tendency to find their husbands uh, in college or immediately at, or right before the person pretty much is on their way to the wealth that they're getting ready to achieve. And it seems like
hmm
for black women have failed I think with black, I think that when I talk to white women, and I deal with I have professionally dealt with a lot of white women. White women purposely go to college looking for husbands.
I was just about to
Yes,
say that.
exactly.
And this is what black women got to understand. This whole this whole thing about black women are you are sophisticated enough and dynamic enough to do both at the same time. You don't have to avoid one to do the other. You can simultaneously go to college, network, and put yourself in environments to meet attractive black men or men in general, whatever you care to want to date, and find your husband en route to you having your career. Because that's exactly what other groups of people, they intentionally go to these colleges and universities because they understand if I'm in an environment with a certain class of men, my probability of marrying a certain type of successful guy increases, as opposed to me now graduating 2-3 years after I have my degrees and I'm in a workplace environment. Now I have to go into other environments to find that person. And so that's one of the key reasons that other groups find their mate, because a lot of millionaires, believe it or not, a lot of millionaires marry young. They don't wait. The average millionaire
Yes.
does not wait till they're 40 years old to get. They marry around 23 to 28, 25. They marry in their early mid 20s.
Mostly the benchmark is no later than approaching late 20s on the
Yeah,
average.
they marry.
Because it's like, and mind you, if you remember D-Direct, you do the data analysis, even now, it's still in the past, let's say 20 years, maybe a little bit more, that if you look at the average for a man, first child, it's still roughly in the late 20s.
Right.
It might vary from different racial backgrounds, but really it's still there. And people don't understand why is it still the same number, regardless of how the environment is so problematic for men that want to risk getting married or not. Why is still somewhat still roughly that mean that they don't want to talk about? Because most people, how we date and mate now for as long as time has progressed, usually we try to get out of the market and eventually hopefully have our kids roughly while we're still somewhere around the 20s at most on the average. You get me? Because we want to give at least a generation. So once we hit 40 and where we are in life, our children are adults, then we really start to live somewhat life. You know, when our children are grown, once we touch our 40s. Roughly, that's how it's supposed to go. Roughly.
Right.
But overall, if you think about, and Virgil, I seen it in the chat room. What's good, Virgil? Links in the chat room.
So let me ask the sister, like when you were in college, when you went to college, what was your mindset towards dating or meeting someone? Like, did you have a position? Look, I'm going to get my education. I'm gonna focus. I'm not doing all the shenanigans. Am I going to be open to date? Like, what was your mindset towards dating and marriage when you were in college?
As she gets her mic.
Okay, because my position is that when I'm around, when I have spoken to, like, particularly like in Houston, I have a lot of clients who are in the oil business, the oil petroleum business, very lucrative businesses, right? And I'm talking about women who are from Europe, South Africa. I mean, I have a very large international clientele that because Houston is an international city, so I have women from all over the world, different countries that come to Houston to work in the petro industry, and a lot of those women meet their husbands when they are around their sophomore to junior year, or if they're achieving their master's degree. And they're not meeting these husbands post graduation. They're meeting them before they graduate out of college, for the most part. But they already have a clear mindset that when I go to college, I want to meet my husband. I want to that's like a goal. That's like a written goal. You know, like say, look, I want to get my degree. I want to average this. I want to do this. And also in that, I want to meet my husband, who also is more likely to have those same type of goals or higher. And I think, and a lot of that, because I'm like Alonzo, you got high income customers. When you really look at it, a lot of this comes from generation as far as that value system of their parents or whatever, or their mother teaching them that. And in the black community, we don't have generations of that, of that, as far as when you go to college or whatever, people are telling you that you should be open to wanting to marry, open to it's about just get the education, which is great. But the probability of you meeting that high earning type of guy, or what we say the high value, this person, that, is probably in college as opposed to post college and post degree.
Yeah.
The potential goes down when because now you're no longer in that environment where you have a saturated, a low, I'm gonna say a small percentage, but is saturated with those type of guys, but is in a confined space.
Absolutely. If I may, my wife actually did that. Right now, what you said, D. Darrell, is so true, right? Everybody in her family was like, go to college, get a degree. Men ain't nothing. They'll be there when you graduate, and da 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 da.
They're not. They're not.
Exactly.
They're not going to be there.
Now, my
Because,
wife, she was smart. When she went to college, um, she was also smart enough to leave this dude and find a winner like me. But
Oh
when
yeah.
she went when she went to college, her, I think, sophomore year, she bumped into a guy who was a senior, or her encroaching her sophomore year. So the end of her freshman year, she ended up dating a guy who was a senior, and he obviously graduated prior to her. And her goal was to, be married with children by 25.
Okay.
She met a guy who was older, black guy. Um, Obviously, he's on his way out of college while she's still working through, so she can focus on her degree and not worry about dudes because she was with this guy. This guy ended up, when he graduated college, he got a job at Walmart, as management, and then ended up being in, if y'all don't know, y'all better learn, GMs of Walmarts and grocery stores make bank. And he was the GM of, like, that was his store,
oh
his
yeah,
Walmart.
GMs make great money.
Man.
Yeah.
So she was like with him, and to be honest, getting with me financially for her, even shit, I don't have a college degree. So in the eyes of a lot of people, even in her family, I was a complete I was a pookie for compared to him.
Mhm.
And so I was a downgrade, right? Because obviously she definitely did things right. Look, I'm intending on, and she was intentional. I intend on getting married. So in college, I'm gonna look for a guy who's a little bit older, who's got his head on his shoulders, is going in a direction I'd like to go in, right? Um, and I think all too often, you know, African American women don't do that. Prime example, I have a cousin who is now 29 years old. She's in the medical field. She was asking me, well, what's wrong with all these dudes who are I forgot in residency with me. They can't afford what what I'm trying to get. And I was like, well, you need to date probably somebody who's 40, who's already a doctor and
Right.
established and has gone through his residency, because the guy who's going through residency with you is just as strapped as you. No, he can't afford your red bottoms. No, he can't afford to take you to share Shayla's steak, right?
The superficial stuff,
Yeah,
basically. And
yeah,
that's not forward thinking, because 6 years from now they will be. You know?
true.
They're gonna afford that. They may not be able to afford it now, but they're gonna be able to afford it in 5 to 6 years. And that's the issue. You can't have this ready-made like right now. Not that you can't get it.
We call it the microwave effect. Put it in, set timer, ready, dinner served.
She said, "What about black women do this to black men?" I'm not getting that.
Yeah, Winston, if you could elaborate, brother, in your the comment, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, like my
Yeah.
position is, and like I tell African American women who, because I have a ton of black women who I'm not gonna say they're dating down, but they got the degrees, they got the education, the training, and they spent so much time doing that they were not in any way attempting to connect en route into that success. And you're gonna have to be, to younger women who are on that track, you have to be open and presentable and available to guys in your route to that success, because it's a lot harder after you achieve it. Because now you're in different environments with other people who are probably already caught. The good guys get caught quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, and the thing about it is this thing about thinking I can delay time and they're going to always be there. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Those guys get snatched up quickly.
Like that.
And there's competition with other women that see value and they willing to do whatever to be number one. So you're better off en route to your success to get that person, as opposed to waiting till you solidify yourself and then you're trying to find this person. And I'm gonna say this, and this is a reference to Kevin Samuel. I know people, he's very seen as even in death, as a controversial person.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say he told the truth about is that for a lot of the black women who are calling wanting this high value man, so to speak, the black community only has a limited, very finite percentage of black men who earn that money. And many of those guys are not single. Many of those guys are married. And we're talking about 4 to 5% of black men earn 6 figures or more. And so you mean to tell me every woman, you got 75% of black women competing for 4% of the men? A lot of those men are married before they even get that type of money. I was married at 20. I was 27 when I got married.
Yeah.
And I didn't start making the money as far as me when I went in my business like 3 years later, till I was like 30. I was 31 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But I was married. I was dating my wife in college, but I got married.
I don't know what happened, Darrell. You just
Yeah, your mic
got
went.
zonked out.
Oh. All right, he'll get his mic back in order.
Well, you know what's an odd thing? So I actually, like you said, you get snatched up young. If you have ambition and potential, right? And I think, again, that's one of the things that black women miss out on, is they date potential as opposed to ambition and potential. Because you can have a guy who has ambition, but his ambition is, like I said, that mixtape, right? Well, there's no potential there, right? But then you can also get the guy who has, ambition and potential.
Yeah.
And so I got with my wife, I was 25, right? Now, we didn't get married until I was in my 30s, but that was, we were dating solidly for 7 years, right? And so what ended up happening was I got to a point where I was like, yo, what the hell am I doing? So I had to step, kind of into a realm where I realized, yo, this is something that I want to keep and that I should keep. And so, you know, that's what I did there. But I think, like D. Darrell was saying, man, listen, you gotta snatch a guy up while he's young, black woman, and you have to be willing to, you know, kind of be in that vulnerable space or whatever,
Yeah.
and you know, kind of get it from there. But I'm about to hop off because it's 1 o'clock in the morning,
All
and I
right.
got to get up in the morning.
Okay.
But I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna keep this plane in the clouds, and fall asleep to it.
All right. Respect. Thank you, Onstar, for your input.
No doubt.
As I bring you back up, D. Darrell. Virgil Barry, what's good, man? I know you've been listening a little bit.
Yeah, I've been.
As you know, the title, "Let Your Queen Cheat." Now, I said pretty much a lot throughout the first hour session of this stream. I'm not gonna
Right.
go to recap. But overall, I'll ask you the question, Virgil. Is it cool for a woman to sit there cheat in peace and comfort, or like a queen cheat and just turn a blind eye? You know?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, nah, man. Listen here. What's up with everybody on the chat room? And I'm up late because I switched to third shift at my job, so I'm actually at work on my break right now, so
Okay.
kind of convenient. What's good with everybody in the chat room and everybody on the panel listening, man? It ain't never cool for not. I don't know about you dudes out here, but me, I'm not married. But if I was married, oh, most certainly not. It would never be cool or acceptable for my wife to cheat on me. I would never accept nothing like that. I would never in a million years accept that. Now, on the other hand, right? Because I wouldn't say that I would cheat, but shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. If I wanted to exercise my option, I would do so. But if I was going to do so, depending on the nature of the relationship with the woman I'm interacting with like that, I would either let her know or not let her know. Because what's been my experience with some chicks just don't want to know. They don't mind. They understand. They accept that a man is going to do what he do, but they just don't want to know. But then I've dealt with chicks who didn't mind, or at least they acted like they didn't mind. But you know, on the surface, they say they don't, but really they don't care. So this is what I'm gonna say, Chaos, right? If you was dealing with a chick, right, who's your girl, wife, significant other, or whatever the situation may be, you be honest with her off top as soon as you get with her. Now, don't not to say that you just gonna be out here just smashing different chicks, but if the opportunity presented itself and you wanted to do it, you would do it and you would take the proper precautions and responsibilities. But on the other hand, you just will make sure that she would never find out about it. And what you don't know can't hurt you. See, that works. That doesn't work for y'all women, though. See, what's good for the goose ain't always good for the gander. Now, I'm not saying it's okay for men to cheat, but like my man Kevin Samuels said, rest in the essence to him, we don't cheat. We exercise options. Now, if y'all don't understand that or don't want to accept that in that paradigm, then that's something that you got to figure out for yourself.
And the funny thing, and let me see, Deidre, your mic's good. Let me check if we can hear you. All right, as he get his mic set up. As you know, Gabrielle went and admit on a podcast where that she made the most. So she said, like, her father told her that the riches go to the spoils. So she was justified in her actions, blah, blah. And ironically, not much women gave much pushback. Maybe some commentators might talk about it. Very tiny. But most women had no problem. But they got all up in roars. Like I said, when KS talk about when men reach a certain plateau or status, that men don't go around fling it, they exercise option. The whole internet just broke down. So when I think about the cheating aspects, and be honest with you, this is, not a question, but something put out here, because this is something that has to be an honest conversation. As you know, with modernization, that sometimes it's hard to know if your mate is going around behind your back entertaining other men, depending where you pick her up. It's a little tricky, but as a person that's paying attention to detail, especially if he's productive, sometimes he invests time to know, or he just don't give a crap unless, something comes around. Overall, because women do it better than us, if some of us do exercise the option, that there is a considered double standard when it comes to men and women. Unfortunately, women want to operate virtual in a polyamorous relationship where they'll do something, it's okay, and the U.S. man, you must eat dirt, But if you do it, it's like the whole world comes down. Especially when there's very little small supply of men and there's more of them. But they want to act as so that they want to engage in this polyamorous lifestyle with the small supply of men. And this is not just black men, but it's in general, because there's not a ratio of an even number of men and women, personally. So that's one I just want to lay out to you, Virgil. Hope that was clear.
Overnight.
Yeah, I heard what you said. What would you ask me a question?
No, I'm just giving you some more context, to the more bigger scheme.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that whole situation with Gabrielle Union, man. Listen here, man. And that's why I say, man, D Wade is a sucker, man. Flat out. You know what I'm saying? All y'all chicks, shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1. And I've been telling chicks this for a long time. All y'all chicks out there who boss bitches, y'all boss chicks, y'all independent chicks, and y'all somehow or maybe fortunate enough to be working for some corporation and making a whole bunch of money. It's unfortunate that y'all have to do this though, but in order for y'all to get the top, y'all gonna have to settle for a man who makes less money than you. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not going to be a man. That doesn't mean that he ain't gamed up. That don't mean he can't provide provision and protection for you. That just means since you make more money, some of y'all women gonna have to realize y'all gonna have to allow that man to preside over your money. I said you're gonna have to let your man listen. I know y'all
that ain't happening.
Exactly. So listen what I'm saying though. Y'all gonna have to allow that man to preside over your money, because let's just be honest. No matter how much money y'all make, it's very few of y'all that are actually financially responsible. Few of y'all are actually investing y'all's money. Few of y'all are actually building and establishing generational wealth with your money. Few of y'all have most of them. They might find a chick that somebody put up on game about the real estate game, and that's residential, which is going to the damn shitter as we see. How many of y'all have met a chick that say, "Oh, I own some properties." She own a housing or something, a house or apartment, a 4 unit thing. But how many of y'all met chicks that own industrial real estate, commercial real estate, actual land?
That's a good question.
So what I'm saying is, y'all don't know what to do with the damn money anyway. And just because a man is making less money, you don't mean he's more financially responsible or literate than you are.
Right.
Or that doesn't mean he's less financially responsible or illiterate as you are. I like to always bring this back to the ism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why when y'all get these jobs, in order for y'all to be happy and be with a man, because unless you want to just get a fuck nigga who's not a man, and then you're not going to be happy anyway, you're going to have to settle for a man who is a man who makes less money than you. And guess what you're going to have to do, You have to let that man preside over that money. And we know y'all ain't going to do that. We know y'all ain't going to do that. So with that being said, now we at the crossroads, right? You feel me? We at the crossroads now. So if y'all not willing to compromise, and I tell chicks all the time, and I told my ex this, y'all do not want to give up y'all's illusory power that y'all been tricked and manipulated into thinking that y'all actually got, and y'all actually don't. Right? And under the disguise of education, which is really indoctrination, y'all been allowed to make all this money and get into corporate America to do exactly what y'all's doing, to get us up out of the way. Because they don't want guys like me and Rain and my brother D. They don't want us to be having these positions making 6+ figures. Because when black men get together, actual black men get together, shit change, shit happen, shit improve for the so-called black community. Tulsa, Oklahoma will be an example. Waco, Florida will be a cancel. I'm talking about
even
we got my city. Listen, my city, Columbus, Ohio, Mount Vernon Avenue in the King's Arts Complex District. I'm talking about nothing but black-owned businesses back in the day. You hear me? I'm talking about when black men get on one accord and we establish a code of ethics amongst us, like how we had back in the day. Oh, we prosper. We make money. We take stuff over. We end up running stuff. And they can't have that because J. Edgar Hoover said there'll never be another Black Messiah, and they're going tooth and nail to make sure that don't happen. And what better way to do that than to come for y'all, come at y'all, and y'all just went for it, hook, line, and sinker.
All right.
Don't make no goddamn sense.
All right. Cool. Thank you very much for coming up. Appreciate it, bro. As always, like
man, you already know anytime, bro.
Get back in the clock. You know what I'm saying?
I only know one. I know a doctor, a guy that I grew up with. He married a doctor, and of all the women that I know, his wife, who is a surgeon, right?
Mhm.
And he didn't even go to college,
Mm-hmm.
and he won the lottery like back in like 2020, I think. I mean, not 2020, like 2000, like I think early 2000, 2001. He didn't win. I mean, he won a bunch. He won like maybe a couple of million per se. I think he won about a couple of million, and he never worked. But he manages all her money.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be honest. That's the only example I have of a black woman basically giving up. Like he manages the money. Period. She does not manage her own money. Now I know situations in which you know they may discuss and plan together, but that's the only situation I know where you're talking about a sister who making probably somewhere around 200,000, 250 easily in her field, and that she basically he controls the bank account, he controls where the money goes, how much she gets for this and that. He controls all the finances. Her books, everything. She don't even touch that. It's a rarity. It is a rarity. That's all I can say because I only know one example.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. Any closing remarks? Come up high. End it here.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, thanks for inviting me on the late night slide. You know, so I'll be up around this time anyway. So you know, what I'm saying all y'all want to tap in, man. Y'all go over there to A Real Talk Podcast, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Chaos Rain is a frequenter over there. That's my brethren right there. So y'all make sure y'all come on, tap with. We going in live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Thursday, and 9 p.m. on Friday and Saturdays. Man, y'all can come tap in and walk with us, man.
That's right. That's what's up. Always consistent schedule. Always know. Thank you, Virgil. And like I
you already
said,
know, bro.
Y'all can find AO Real Talk Podcast on YouTube. Thank you. All right. D-Darrell, any last words?
Hey, man. Thank you for having me up, man. I was browsing around and just kind of checking, seeing you had I saw I got an email from you and I said, well, let me go check it out, see what's up. And I was like, let me, I came in at the middle end, but I think this was a dope discussion. Definitely glad I was able to come in, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, man, the relationship of what she's doing is a function of how she was trained to think. And there are a lot of women who could actually, if they would function and look at this better, they would be in a better situation. And I do think that this generation, it's a lot of things we need to relook at doing as far as the outcomes of that, and look at those outcomes and don't carry on generational stupidity. So then you teach another group of women to make the same mistake. We gotta maybe change that up. Men too, but that's kind of my position on that. Appreciate you having me on, man. Have a great night.
All right, take care, D-Darrell. Catch you on the next live stream, and I'm going to probably, yeah, you know the deal. All right, that's it. So, like always, ladies and gentlemen, fellas, let your queen cheat. She's going to be disrespectful when she does it. And one thing, ladies, if you're going to cheat, please be respectful and be honest that you're going to, explore and have other mates to your mate. I mean, I don't advocate much anything, but if you're going to be doing this, be honest. And like I said, fellas, you should not accept anything at all. If she tells you she cheat, you know what to do. You keep pushing. And hell, if you feel she's going to cheat or my inclination that she might be cheating, time is your best friend, gentlemen. That's all I'm going to say. If you're new or want to subscribe to the Chaos Rain channel, you know the drill. You hit that red button and hit that top notification bell for uploads and live streams here on the Chaos Rain show. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7 add me as friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook, and join the Discord servers of the Chaos Rain Show. The Discord is on the About section of the Chaos Rain YouTube channel. And that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching or listening to today's stream. Oh, and leave a comment too. Looking forward to hear from this stream. And like always, people, till next time. And the Chaos Rain.